Greetings and welcome to Fan Fiction Reader. I'm thrilled to bring fanfiction to life through audio. I put a lot of effort into these readings, so if you're enjoying the journey, please consider giving the video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Your support means a lot. Now, let's dive into the story.
Chapter 1 Chapter 1 Awakening Sangguo. Sangguo, don't hit me. Sangguo, Suyu woke up from his daze and saw a little girl of 7 or 8 years old lying on him, crying and shouting something. What's going on? Where is this? Wait an instant. Suyu remembered that the little girl in his arms seemed to be his younger sister, and he also remembered the person in front of him. His memory seemed to have revived, and he remembered everything, but how could he go back to the past? Am I dreaming? But it's too real. He touched the back of his head and felt blood on it. He looked up and saw several boys staring at him fiercely. However, they did not come over to beat him, not because they did not want to, but because the villagers stopped them. Sangguo, are you okay? Third brother is fine, don't be afraid. Regardless of whether it was a dream or not, Suyu would not allow his sister to cry so sadly. Moreover, he was very familiar with the scene in front of him. He just forgot it because of his confused memory. Now he remembered it. This was in the early 1970s, in Sanshuiwan village, and he grew up in Sanshuiwan. Things are not complicated. Sanshui Bay is close to the mountains, so there is only a small river, and the river water is divided into upstream and downstream. The downstream is Sanshui Bay, and the upstream is Majioan in the neighboring village. There is a shortage of water here, and there is only one well, which is used by 2 villages and is often not enough. This small river has become the second choice. But Majioan is upstream, and some people are so immoral that they often urinate in it. People downstream don't know this and will use the water back up. But if you want to know why they are so immoral, it is naturally because of the well. After all, 2 villages use it and they often quarrel over the queues, so the half-grown children from the 2 villages are influenced by the adults and often fight. Suyu came to fetch water today and was provoked by several half-grown kids from the neighboring village of Majioan. Suyu was only 19 years old, and the young man could not suppress his anger, so a fight started. Which bastard bullied my brother you? Do you really want to die? As he was speaking, a young man about 1.78 meters tall came over with a shovel in his hand. Facing the 4 or 5 guys from Majioan, he was not at all afraid and rushed forward, but was stopped. Huzit, stop making trouble. Do you think the matter is not serious enough? The 2 men hugged Huzai directly and prevented him from moving. At this time, Suyu could no longer pretend not to see it. No matter whether everything he saw was a dream or not, it was too real. He couldn't just sit there in a daze. Suyu stood up, touched his little sister's head, and walked over. Suyu is 1 year older than Huzai. Huzai is only 18 years old, while Suyu is already 19 years old. He is also taller than Huzai, at 185 cm tall. At this age, when people are not well fed or clothed, he is definitely considered tall. The only thing that doesn't match is that he is incredibly thin. Although he is over 1.8 meters tall, he doesn't have much flesh on his body. He is like a bamboo pole, which is normal in that era. Suyu, calm down. If they bully you, we are in the right. But if you hurt someone, it will be a fight, and the nature of the fight will be different. The person who grabbed him was from the production team in the same village and from the same clan, also surnamed Su, named Su Dihai, 32 years old, and the main force of the production team. It was he who brought a few adults to maintain order, and the people from the neighboring village stopped beating him. Yes, calm down. Someone has already been sent to notify the village chief. Hand it over to the village party secretary. Don't worry, our Su family will not be bullied for nothing. Sanshui Bay is not big, with more than 300 people, but half of them are surnamed Su, which is considered to be a large population. Even the village chief is surnamed Su. Uncle Dihai, it's okay, I won't be impulsive. Patting Uncle Dihai's arm, he came in front of a few people and grabbed Huzai. Huzai's name was Su Ziohu, and he was Suyu's childhood friend. The 2 of them were good friends. Although they were not blood brothers, their ancestors were considered a family. Simply put, they were within the 5 generations of mourning. He pulled Huzai behind him and glanced at the 4 people opposite. Lai-san, it seems that I have not offended you, but why are you suddenly provoking me today? He had wanted to ask this question in his previous life. Although there were many frictions between the 2 villages, they were not a big deal. The village chiefs of the 2 villages often met each other. There were only occasional frictions due to grabbing water. It was never to the point of deliberate provocation by the other side, let alone bringing 3 younger brothers to deliberately look for trouble and beat him up. Nothing, I just heard that you sent fish to Zoo Shaking? I advise you not to be a toad wanting to eat swan meat, you don't deserve it. My goodness, after all this talk, it's all because of the female educated youth in the village? Fuck, are you stupid? Su Zhaking is from our village, what does it have to do with you, Magioan? When is it your turn to interfere? Su Yu could hold it in, but Hu's eye could not. He was thinking about the female educated youth from other villages, and it was not uncommon for the villagers to get angry and start fighting with them. When he said this, the other villagers in Sanshui Bay were also very angry. As for missing Su Zhaking, it is true in Su Yu's memory. As the saying goes, everyone loves beauty, but that belonged to Su Yu in the previous life. Su Yu's mind is very clear at this moment, and if nothing unexpected happens, the other person will look down on him. As for sending fish, it was also a coincidence. When Su Zhaking went to wash clothes, he just squatted on the stone and the wood hit the clothes. Because it was running water, after washing, the water was washed away. As long as it was downstream, it didn't matter if he washed clothes. Su Yu happened to be fishing in the water that day. He could hold his breath in the water for 4 or 5 minutes, which was a skill he had practiced. Su Zhaking didn't know there was someone in the water that day, so he was frightened by Su Yu rushing out of the water. The fright was not a big deal, but his feet slipped and he fell into the water, getting his clothes wet. Su Yu's predecessor had always been interested in her, and when he saw that he had wet her clothes, he naturally felt very embarrassed, so he gave her a fish as an apology and personally sent her back to where the educated youth lived. Both of them were soaking wet, and before leaving, they gave each other a fish. This matter spread quickly, and it was normal for others to make some speculations, but who was so bored? It spread to other villages? Before Su Yu could answer, the village chief of Sanshui Bay arrived late. Old Party Secretary. Old Party Secretary, you are here? Everyone greeted them, even Lysan and his friends didn't dare to act too aggressively. After all, the two villages were very close and he was well aware of Su Dakang's prestige in Sanshui Bay. If he really lost his temper and said he had kidnapped him, no one would object. But if they from Magia Bay wanted to come and rescue people, they really needed to think twice. So, what happened? Why are you covered in blood? Actually, it wasn't that serious. It was just that the back of his head was cut and blood was all over. It looked a bit scary, but the injury was actually not that serious. So someone explained the whole thing to the village chief, and the village chief understood. It turned out that the young men were fighting for a woman. He knew about this, because everyone has been young. It shouldn't be a big deal. Children in rural areas are not that precious, so it is normal for them to fight. As long as they keep breaking arms and legs, it is not a big deal. Otherwise, there would not be the term blind migrant. Even in the old city, the capital, there were fights between the gangsters and the children of the big courtyards. Fighting was the norm in that era, especially among children, but this was the first time that someone went to someone else's village and bullied them, so Su Dakang was not polite at all. Go find someone to go to Magioan and call that old man Ma Sanyuan. You are a villager of Magioan and I can't talk to you if I don't tell you. You came to our village to fight. Do you think we in Sanshuiwan are easy to bully? Ma Sanyuan, the village chief of Magioan, is of the same age as Su Dakang and is also his classmate. After all, there is only one primary school nearby, and even the junior high school and high school are the same one because they are all in the county town, not too far away. You can't go to a school that is too far away. Chapter 2 Earn $10 with tears and blood. Chapter 2 Earning $10 with tears and blood. What are you doing? Are you relying on your numbers to bully us Magioan people? Lysan, whose real name is Ma Kui, is a rogue who usually does nothing. I have never heard that he is interested in Su Zhaking. The key point is that he is not worthy of her. Unless Su Zhaking is crazy, how could he possibly be interested in him? But when he heard Su Dakang was going to call their village party secretary, Lysan became a little anxious. He knew very well that he was not in the right in this matter. He beat someone in someone else's village, but that person not only did not beat him, but also went to ask their village secretary to judge the matter. He was not in the right from the beginning. As Lysan was about to leave, if he really waited for Ma Sanyuan to come, he would definitely be skinned alive. After all, the village secretary is still very capable in the village. He has many ways to deal with you, such as making you dig manure, sweep the streets, or stand guard. In short, in this era, the village party secretary is a powerful cotter in the village. Stop him, don't let him run away. When the village chief spoke, several people from the production team immediately gathered around. There were only 4 of them, so they couldn't make any noise at all. They were immediately knocked down by the crowd. Not to mention tied up, they were pressed to the ground. Not long after, Ma Sanyuan led these people here. As soon as they arrived, they saw Lysan and others being pinned to the ground. Su Dakang, what's going on? Why didn't you ask clearly before you pushed Lysan from our village to the ground? What do you want to do? Bully people? Bullshit, don't be the first to complain, look at Su Yu from our village first. As he said this, he pointed at Su Yu, who was covered in blood. He looks like he would die at any moment. In fact, he was just hungry. So someone acted as a commentator and explained everything to Ma Sanyuan. Ahem, Daking, this isn't a big deal. We're all from neighboring villages and we're all fellow villagers. There's no need to make such a big fuss, right? If the commune leaders knew about this, wouldn't it be a joke? Upon hearing this, Su Dakang curled his lips. As soon as the other party farted, he knew what the other party was going to do. Of course, he didn't give him face and immediately retorted. According to what you said, running to another village and beating someone up means you deserve to be beaten. Look, a good young man was bullied like this by your village, and you just said it was no big deal and let it go? In fact, Ma Sanyuan knew very well what kind of person Lysan was, but as the village chief, he would naturally help his relatives instead of others. Otherwise, if you follow other villages to bully the villagers in your own village, who would be willing to elect you as the village secretary? Of course, he still knew the right and wrong, and he just wanted to do his best to exonerate Lysan. However, when he looked in the direction of Su Dakang's finger, wow, the other party was really miserable. Ma Sanyuan, can you do something about it? If not, let's report it to the police and let them bring them to justice. Su Dakang was full of confidence. With Su Yu in such a miserable state, no matter if it was his fault or not, wherever he stood, he would have to stay in prison for a few days or even for several years in serious cases, commonly known as labor reform. Not really. We are all from the same village. Let's solve it privately. What do you think? That depends on what Su Yu thinks. I can't control it. Su Dakang looked over. Su Dakang also had the surname Su and was the eldest uncle of Su Yu's family. He just said that. Naturally, Su Yu would not be so ungrateful. I'll listen to Uncle Su. You decide everything. Hearing this, Su Dakang's prestige in Sanshui Bay was highlighted. Su Dakang was very satisfied that the young man was sensible. Then what do you think we should do? Didn't you hear that? Ma Sanyuan even used honorifics. Su Dakang was very happy, but he didn't want to be too harsh on him. This is my nephew, not out of the 5th degree of mourning. Since he calls me uncle, I can't let him suffer any injustice. $10, this is considered as a favor to you, Ma Sanyuan. Fuck, $10? How dare you say that? You just scratched a layer of skin and bled a little, and you dared to ask for $10. You are really shameless. Ma Sanyuan really didn't want to care about Lysan's affairs, but he was the village chief, so he couldn't ignore it. But what did 10 yuan mean? Rural people worked hard for a month, and the money they earned from work points was good enough for 3 or 4 yuan a month. Otherwise, why do people envy those who eat public food in the city? Do you think it is because the city people have enough to eat? Come on, it is the same all over the country. Life is tight. Only those who have jobs can at least earn 15 yuan a month as a minimum. This is the price of temporary workers. If you are a regular worker, 18 to 20 yuan is the minimum. The price varies depending on the type of work, but no matter what type of work, 1 month can be equivalent to several months of ordinary people. But this is a rural area. Su Dakang, that bastard, asked for 10 yuan. Isn't that an exorbitant price? Marrying a wife only costs 10 yuan. If you really pay, it will cost more than 2 yuan per person for 4 people. Simply put, it's just a month's work points, all in vain. Hey, you're still not happy? Let me do the math for you. Our Su Yu's brain was injured. What if it's damaged? Who can we turn to if there are sequelae? How about you take him to the county town for a checkup? Just shine that light and check his brain? Also, you need to rest after your brain injury, right? You need to take some supplements, right? As the saying goes, you are what you eat. It's not too much to buy some pig brains, right? It's not too much to rest for a month, right? If you don't work for a month, what will you eat? How can you take care of yourself? If you say he needs to rest for a month, that's totally unnecessary, but Su Yu's head did bleed a lot, especially since his own sister made him covered in blood. It was really scary. No matter if you were sick or not, if you go to a big hospital in the county, go back and forth, eat and drink, and take some x-rays, it may not cost 10 yuan. Su Dakang had a very good grasp of the situation and had calculated accurately that although 10 yuan was a lot, the whole thing would cost at least 7 or 8 yuan. If he went to the city just to save 2 or 3 yuan, and something really happened, the 10 yuan would be a lot of money. Su Dakang had figured it out, and Ma Sanyuan wasn't stupid either. Su Dakang was sure that once they went to the city for inspection, the whole set would cost at least 7 or 8 yuan, so he insisted on asking for 10 yuan. The key is to go through a lot of trouble. This is not the future, where you can just take a taxi to the city. Now, when you go to the city, you need to get a certificate, find someone to accompany you, and all the expenses need to be recorded clearly. After all, if you ask Lai Sen to take out 10 yuan, he doesn't have it, so the team has to pay for it first. Then the expense needs to be calculated clearly, otherwise, this money is collective, and if you can't figure it out, who can you ask for help when the time comes? So instead of going through so much trouble, it would be better to directly borrow money from the brigade to Lysan and let him write a promissory note. With the witness of several people, the matter can be done. It is clear and does not require so much trouble. It is obvious which one is better. Okay. I'm too lazy to argue with you, Lysan. The other party wants 10 yuan. What do you say? If you agree, the brigade will agree to lend it to you. You just need to write an IOU and then the money will be deducted from your work point slowly. If you don't agree, then I won't care. I'll leave it to the police. What do you choose? Chapter 3 Skill Panel Open. Chapter 3 Skill Panel Opening. What other choices did Lysan have? Given his situation, if he reported the case to the police, he would definitely be in jail for a few days or even months. He would still have to pay compensation, but not as much. The key point was that having a criminal record was still a big deal in this era. Although he was just a gangster and had no reputation, having a criminal record was different from not having one. Finally they compromised and Suyu got the $10 as he wished. Let's go home. Suyu picked up his little sister, called Huzai, and the three of them slowly walked towards the village. Brother Yu, why did you agree to let that bastard Lysan go? He should be brought to justice and put in jail for a few years. If this were in his previous life, he remembered that he had fought hard, both sides were injured, and it ended in nothing. He didn't get any advantage at that time, but now, it was already very good to get compensation. Forget it. We are too close to Magioan. We can see each other when we are farming. The key is that there are many wives from Magioan in the village. It will be difficult for the village party secretary to be too awkward. Of course, he said this intentionally. After all, the current Suyu is no longer the Suyu before. He is not so impulsive. Whether he beats up the other party or calls the police, he will not get any benefits. It is better to take the money and give face to the village chief. If he wants to deal with the other party, there will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Alas, it's because you are kind-hearted, brother Yu. If it were me, I would have killed him illegally. The three of them chatted and laughed and returned to the village. They said goodbye to Huzai, and Suyu took his younger sister home. Little sister, where is our mother? She's not at home? A mother and fourth brother went to the wild to pick wild vegetables, and eldest brother went to the fields, so it's just the two of us at home, he said. His head was bruised and he didn't see comrade Liu Yushai. It turned out that she was picking wild vegetables with her fourth brother. You play by yourself. Go wash yourself. You're covered in blood. If you don't wash yourself, you'll feel sticky. After saying that, he walked into the room. The Su family had 4 adobe houses. The west room was the kitchen, the east room was for storing farm tools, firewood and other things, and the 4 north rooms were used by his parents, his eldest brother, his youngest sister and him and his fourth brother. The eldest brother had his own room, because he was too old to get married without it, and the younger sister used to share a room with the eldest sister. But then the eldest sister got married, and the younger sister was the only one left in the room. Logically speaking, the fourth brother and the younger sister should share a room. After all, 2 little kids, an 8-year-old sister and a 14-year-old, can live together. Suyu is already 19 years old and can have a room of his own, but Suyu finds it troublesome to move around, so the matter has been delayed again and again. As soon as you enter the room, a sense of simplicity hits you. There is a square table at the entrance with an armchair on each side. Behind the chairs are stacked bricks with a horizontal bar on top, like an altar. On the altar there is a sitting mirror and next to it is an old alarm clock. Behind the door on the left-hand side as you enter the room is a wash basin rack with an enamel basin on it, and a capital Chinese character for Chinese letter happiness in the basin. Even the thermos is woven. In short, it is a living shooting scene in Hengdian. Unexpectedly, he was really reborn in the 1970s. His family was not considered poor because his father had served in the army and was injured. After being discharged, he worked in the commune brick factory and had a decent income. My eldest brother was determined to go to university, but the college entrance examination was resumed in 1977, which was still 7 years away. It was too early. The key point was that my eldest brother was already 23 years old and had no chance. In 7 years, he would be in his 30s and would probably have several children by then. Whether he would be willing to go or not was another matter. Oh, I think so much, worry about nothing. As he spoke, he poured some warm water, washed his hair, changed his clothes, dried his hair, looked for medical alcohol in his father's room, and applied some. As for seeing a doctor? Forget it, the bleeding had stopped by now, so there was no need to waste money. 3 pots. Just as I finished cleaning up, I saw the little girl looking at me timidly through the crack in the door. Girl, what's wrong? Sanguo, I'm hungry. As soon as Su Yu said he was hungry, his stomach started to growl. Ahem. I'll go find something to eat for you. These days, people generally cannot get enough to eat. Even though my father works in a brick factory, his salary is only a pitiful 18 yuan, and he can't even pay his salary. After all, few people in the countryside use bricks to build houses. They are all used in the city or to build pig farms or other places. Since the bricks cannot be sold, of course there is no money to pay wages, but I can't bear to lose this job. After all, there is a limit to wage arrears. At least I can pay 1 month's salary every few months. After searching for a long time, Su Yu didn't find a single cake, not even any corn flour. There was nothing at home. No wonder his mother, Comrade Liu Yuzhe, went out to dig wild vegetables. Alas, after searching for a long time, he found less than half a pound of bran. Su Yu even doubted whether pigs would eat this stuff. In fact, he knew that in that era, people just had to eat wild vegetables with bran and some porridge to get half full. If there were no meals, my mother would not go to pick wild vegetables. She would have gone to the fields with my eldest brother to earn work points. After all, without work points, you would not get any food. Logically, his family wouldn't go hungry. After all, his father at least had classes to go to. But his family was a little different. He still had grandparents, an uncle, and a third uncle, and his father was the second child. His grandmother favored the eldest brother, which was normal in rural areas because the eldest brother was the breadwinner of the family. Take the job in the brick factory for example. It was her grandmother's idea that almost gave it to her uncle. Later, her mother couldn't stand it anymore, so she knelt at the gate of her hometown holding her newborn sister. Everyone knew about it, and the village chief had to step in. Her grandfather also felt embarrassed about this matter, so he intervened and saved the job. After all, this job was arranged by the government after my dad retired from the army. No one can take it away unless he gives it up or gives it to his family after he starts working. The reason his family was in such a bad state was because of the old lady's mischief. His second son left early on with the meager salary he earned, claiming he was not feeling well. As for where he went, the answer was self-evident. Ahem. There's nothing to eat at my house. I'll go out and find some for you. Just stay home and be good. So you ran out after saying that. He ran all the way to the small ditch at the west end of the village. There were fish there and the water was running. However, he had a head injury and obviously could not go down and hold his breath to catch fish. So he could only use a wooden stick to hook the fish. Su Yu found a branch, took off his shoes and socks, and slowly followed the river into the ditch. Su Yu had been fishing since he was a child and was quite experienced. Or maybe he was lucky, for not long after he got into the water, a fish weighing half a pound came over. Su Yu's face lit up with joy and his hands unconsciously clenched the branch. He took a deep breath, held the branch with both hands, and thrust it hard. In an instant, the branch pierced the fish's belly. Ding dong. Experience increased by 1. What's going on? While he was stunned, a panel popped up. Host, Su Yu age, 19 strength 8 adult 10 speed 8 adult 10 skill. Point 1 skills. Fishing if 2+ is this a proficiency panel? Or a point-adding system? Chapter 4 Social Skills Chapter 4 Human Relations Su Yu was very surprised. He had been wondering whether he had a system since he woke up, but he was too busy to figure it out. Now he had accidentally activated the system, so he was naturally surprised. However, this system seemed to convert experience points into skill points. As for what the skill points were used for, he already had a guess. Host, Su Yu age 19 strength 8 speed 8 skill. Point 1 skills. Fishing if 2+. After taking a look at the plus sign behind the fishing skill, he clicked it hard with his consciousness. Buzz the original fishing if 2 instantly turned into fishing if 3, and a stream of fishing skills that needed to be paid attention to poured into his brain out of thin air. He seemed to be enlightened, and seemed to understand a lot in an instant, especially for his hands. He even knew what kind of strength to use. He believed that this thing not only made him understand how much force to use, but even automatically generated muscle memory. However, it was only upgraded to level 1, so it was not obvious. If it was upgraded to level 10 or 8, it would definitely be very obvious. Bam! But while he was in a daze, the half-pound silver carp broke free from the branch and fell back into the water. Su Yu woke up immediately. Hey, can I still let you run away? Su Yu said without pause. He grasped the stick with one hand and thrust hard, and the silver carp weighing more than half a pound was hit again. However, there was no experience added this time, which Su Yu seemed to be thinking about. However, this did not affect his fishing. Now he knew exactly where the fish liked to go in the river. Although it was not so precise, he could figure out the approximate direction. So a fish-piercing competition ensued. It's almost time to go back. He lifted the straw rope that fell around his waist. There were several fish hanging on it, each weighing no less than half a pound. The river is not deep, so there are not too big fish. There is a pool downstream, at the foot of the mountain, where there should be bigger fish, but there are indeed very few big fish in the river. Walking ashore and heading home, Suyu turned on the system. Host, Suyu age 19 strength 8 speed 8 skill points 35 skill. Fishing if 335 skill points. The number of skill points has nothing to do with the number of lines, but has something to do with the size. As for whether it is the size or whether it is more spiritual or something like that, he doesn't know, but in layman's terms, the bigger the size, the more experience points you get. He caught 7 or 8 fish, the largest one was no more than 3 pounds, the medium one was just over 1 pound, and most of them were half a pound. But 7 or 8 fish, at least nearly 10 kilograms of fish, he was already very satisfied. The key point was that he discovered the magic of the system, which was not just used for fishing. He walked and looked around, being careful on the way back to the village, trying not to be seen by others. After all, everyone knows that nowadays, the concept of collectivism is strong and everything is collective. Although Sanshuiwan village does not have a big pot meal when hunting is organized, it usually belongs to the village collective and they cook and eat together. Of course, no one will compete with you for what you catch alone, but there will definitely be people who will make sarcastic remarks or even be jealous. For example, if you catch a few fish, generally no one will be jealous. But if you catch a lot, there will definitely be some shameless people who will come forward to catch them. After many twists and turns, I finally got home. As soon as I entered the house, I saw a little kid with a pair of pigtails running towards me. "Oh Sangyuo, did you catch any fish?" The little girl is 8 years old. Except for her third brother being called Sanguo, she has a slight accent. Her speech is completely fine, but her accent is a bit like her grandmother's. SHH. Keep your voice down. Don't let everyone know. Otherwise, if uncle hears, he will encourage grandma to come and ask for it again. His grandmother lived in the middle of the village, while Suyu's house was at the west end of the village, which was the end of the village. He was not worried that his uncle would know. He said that just to scare the little girl. After all, she couldn't understand other big principles. But it was not the first or second time that her grandmother took away her good things. Although the little girl was young, the children of poor families had to grow up early. She was not sensible, but she was more sensible than most children. Otherwise, he wouldn't have pounced on Suyu and protected him so tightly during the day. Upon hearing this, the little girl covered her mouth and dared not make a loud noise anymore. "Go, get a basin, I'll clean up and stew fish for you at noon." The little girl was very obedient. She immediately got a wooden basin and scooped water. She was so sensible that it made people feel distressed. In no time, Suyu collected all the fish and stewed the half-pound one. There were many people in his family, so they could finish all of them. However, Suyu kept the 3-pound one. "Girl, watch over the fire and make sure the water in the pot doesn't boil away. I'm going to take a fish to the village party secretary." During the day, Su Dakang helped Suyu to beg for 10 yuan, and he couldn't help but show his appreciation. Although they were from the same village and clan, and were relatives within the 5th degree of mourning, he still had to show his appreciation. The little girl was very well behaved. She nodded, sat in front of the stove, and added some firewood from time to time. It is not uncommon for children in rural areas to be able to make fire and cook at the age of 7 or 8. Even though the stove is taller than them, there are more than 1 or 2 little kids in rural areas who cook on stools. It is not uncommon. Of course, don't expect it to be delicious. It's fine as long as it's cooked through and not too salty or bland. Don't have too high hopes. Of course, Suyu cooks today's meal, and he just asked the girl to watch the fire. Suyu took the fish to Su Dakang's house, that is, the old party secretary's house. He did not do anything sneaky. When others asked him about it, he would say that he caught it in the river and was sending it to the old party secretary. Everyone in the village knew about what happened during the day. When others saw it, they would only say that he was sensible and would not feel jealous. After all, Su Dakang's prestige was there, and even if others were jealous, they would ask if he dared. Old party secretary, old party secretary. After knocking on the door, Suyu called out from outside. "Who is it?" "Oh, it's Suyu, come in quickly." The person who opened the door was Su Dakang's wife. It was obvious that she had just returned from work and had not even changed her clothes. "Are you looking for Dakang?" "My dear, Suyu wants to talk to you about something." Aunt Su called out, and Suyu obediently walked in and called out Auntie. He did not enter the yard, but just stood at the gate. "Suyu is here, what are you doing?" As soon as he went out, he saw the fish in the other person's hand. In fact, Aunt Su had seen it a long time ago, but she didn't dare to mention it, let alone ask. What if the other person just passed by her house and looked for her husband? Bringing fish to the door may not be for her family. After all, in this era, having something to eat is really precious. To give a simple example, when visiting relatives, there is no choice of meal time. When visiting relatives, you bring your own food. It's not that I'm stingy, but if you eat other people's rations, they will have to go hungry for a meal, and so it's fine if they go hungry. After all, some relatives are real relatives, but some families may only eat one meal a day. If you visit relatives without bringing rations, wouldn't that be asking for other people's lives? Hey, old party secretary, I just went fishing in the river and caught a few too many fish. I couldn't eat them all, so I brought one for you and Auntie. Quickly find a big basin, the fish is still alive. Chapter 5 Su Bin, the eldest son and grandson of the Su family, appears. Chapter 5 Su Bin, the eldest son and grandson of the Su family, appears naturally. Su Dakang would not accept the fish right away. After the two of them pushed it to each other, Su Dakang pretended to be unable to resist and had to accept it. He then personally sent Su Yu away. Passing by Hu Zai's house, Su Yu started knocking on the door again. Hey, brother Yu, why are you here? I just went to the old party secretary's house, and I want to invite you to my house to eat fish. I caught a lot of fish today, and I want you to come over and try some meat. The two of them have been friends since they were young, so there is no need for them to be polite. In fact, in rural areas, if people have a good relationship, when their family makes delicious food, they will send a bowl to the other person, or invite the other person to come over to eat together. The trend of recognizing godparents in rural areas came about because the heads of the two families get along very well, so they simply recognize a godparent. Your son becomes my godson, and my son recognizes you as his godfather, and the two families are considered to be even closer. This way of getting along with friends starts with such small things. Ah, why didn't you call me when you went fishing? Hu Zai didn't say anything polite. He said something to his parents, closed the door and followed them. He was full of complaints about why they didn't take him with them, but he didn't pretend to be polite. This is a manifestation of the best of friends. Similarly, when Hu Zai's family made delicious food, they would remember Su Yu. The reason why they didn't send it to him was because there were not many things, and they just asked him to try something new. So Hu Zai didn't hesitate and followed Su Yu directly to his house. 3 pots, tiger pot. As soon as I entered the door, the little girl heard the noise and ran out from the kitchen. Are you back? Hu Zai is here too. Come into the house, wash your hands, and get ready for dinner. Comrade Liu Yuzhai came back, and Su Yu called her mother. It was the first time he saw his mother after his rebirth, and he was a little excited. After all, he had never noticed that his mother had aged in his previous life. When he realized it, his mother was already old. But now his mother is not old, she is only in her 40s and in the prime of life. Hey, don't be polite, auntie. I'll go help serve the dishes. Hu Zai did not hesitate and went straight into the kitchen. Liu Yuzhai followed closely behind him and drove Hu Zai out of the kitchen. Su Yu did not watch him and went into the room on his own. As soon as he entered the door, he saw a young figure with his back to him, seemingly fiddling with something. Brother, are you back? The person squatting on the ground fiddling with wild vegetables was none other than Su Yu's older brother, Su Sheng. Well, I'm back. As soon as I entered the house, I smelled the fish you stewed. How come you stewed it all at once? What if you can't finish it? It's okay. It's just the beginning of spring. It won't get bad. By the way, where's the fourth one? The fourth child that Su Yu asked about was Su Jin, who was only 14 years old and was in elementary school. However, in this era, schools often have holidays for various reasons. How dare you ask? You stewed all the fish, so of course we have to call our father back. I asked Su Jin to go, and it seems like the time should be coming soon. The eldest brother is Su Sheng, the second oldest is Su Lai, the third oldest is Su Yu, the fourth oldest is Su Jin, and the fifth and youngest sister is Su Jing, who just started elementary school and is also at home on school holiday. By the way, I heard that you were beaten up. What happened? The eldest brother stopped picking up wild vegetables, put down the basket in his hand, stood up, stared at Su Yu and asked. This matter could not be concealed, so Su Yu did not plan to hide it. He had already told the little girl Su Jing to say that she was fine and just had some skin broken. This was also the reason why his mother did not ask when she saw that he was fine. Because rural kids often fought in the village, especially the eldest brother, who once had a machete under his bed, his father Su He often went to the police station to rescue him. But that was when he was a child, under 15 years old. After he turned 18, he rarely fought. It's nothing, just a minor scrape. It was Lysan from Magiawan. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he deliberately made trouble for me. When Su Sheng heard it was Lysan, his face turned fierce. Lysan was of the same age as his elder brother, and Su Yu was much younger than Lysan. Su Yu only had the advantage of height and he was younger than Lai San. It's okay as long as you're okay. I'll help you get revenge someday. Upon hearing this, Su Yu hurriedly stopped his elder brother and talked for a long time before getting him to give up. Just kidding, Su Sheng's revenge was simple and direct. He just went to Majioan to beat people. Su Sheng was a reckless man. Relying on his height and weight, he could beat 2 or 3 people alone. If he had weapons, he could beat 4 or 5. Maybe it's because of good genes. Su's father is not short, he is 1.9 meters tall, and Su Sheng is also 1.9 meters tall. Only Su Yu is only 1.85 meters tall at the age of 18. It can be said that the height of their children is outstanding, typical northerners' height. Speaking of Lai San, I ran into him on my way back. He and Su Bin seemed to be arguing about something. But when my mother and I passed by, they both stopped talking. It was only after we left that we heard them arguing again. Su Bin, the eldest son of my uncle, is the eldest son and grandson of the Su family. He is only 1 year older than Su Sheng. At the age of 24, he is also considered an older young man. It's just that Su Sheng has not married because he got into a fight and made trouble in the past few years, which made everyone know about it. He has a bad reputation. If you ask around, everyone knows who Sheng Jie is. This is not popular these days. On the contrary, if you are famous in the underworld, people will only help you to be a gangster, a vagrant, a ruffian, or a scoundrel. Although Su Sheng had never been involved in gangs, he had indeed gotten into many fights and helped others out. He only went to junior high school and dropped out before graduating. Of course, it was not because he did not want to go to school, but the school persuaded him to drop out. His reputation can be imagined, so the marriage was delayed again and again. But Su Bin was different. He was purely idle, lazy, and had no job. He even cheated in the fields to earn work points. He was a typical idler. In addition, his uncle had no skills and was a native farmer, so the marriage was delayed. People who are idle have a common problem. They are conceited and neither high nor low, a typical fate that they deserve. If he had lower standards, he wouldn't be unmarried at the age of 24. Simply put, he doesn't like ordinary girls and has high standards. Combined with what his eldest brother said about what Lai Sen was arguing with him, Su Yu already had a rough guess in his mind. He said, Lai Sen is 5 years older than him and they are from the neighboring village. This kind of second-rate guy doesn't know how to carry water at all, so the two of them just know each other and have no communication at all. Why would the other party cause trouble for him? Combined with the news brought back by the eldest brother, the answer seems to be obvious. After all, Su Yu is a reborn person. He was 50 years younger than before his rebirth. He has no lack of experience and knowledge. It is easy to figure out this matter. I was wondering why Lai Sen suddenly came to trouble me. It turns out that Su Bin was behind it. When sending Zhu the educated youth back that day, they had to pass through Zhangkun. There were generally 2 options for the resettlement of the educated youth. One was to live in a household in the village that had no shortage of rooms. The other was for the village to give the household a yard for the educated youth to live together. Obviously, there were no wealthy families in Sanchuan for the educated youth to stay with, so the village could only provide a place to live, usually a cave dwelling. If there was none, they could only build a mud house and a courtyard for the family when the farming season was not busy. Apart from wasting some wood, adobe houses are made of bricks made of mud, which do not need to be fired. There are no tiles on the roofs, which are smoothed with wheat straw mixed with mud. When the rain washes away the thinner roofs, they are patched up again. This type of adobe houses existed in rural areas in the 1960s and 1970s. The rooms all had kangs, so people were not afraid of the cold at night. It can be said that except for the main beams which are made of wood, everything else is made of earth. It just costs some manpower and material resources. The village needs to provide a place to build a house, and there is no other investment. Generally speaking, the educated youth would be placed at the head or the end of the village, not in the middle, because the construction land would not occupy other people's land. Su Yu's home is at the head of the village, so the educated youth point is naturally at the end of the village, so we must pass through the village, so it is not surprising that he was seen by Su Bin, and everything makes sense. What? Did Su Bin ask Lai Sen to beat you up? Why did he do that? Chapter 6 3 Stone Bows, Ready to Enter the Mountains. Chapter 6 3 Stone Bows, Ready to Enter the Mountain. If it was just Lai Sen, Su Sheng would not care so much, but if Su Bin was also involved, it would be a bit difficult for him to deal with it, because of the existence of his father, Su He, who had always been respectful to his uncle's family, and had advised his children with the words that they were family after all, and even if your bones are broken, your tendons are still connected. Both Su Sheng and Su Yu had heard enough of this. When the conscription came to the village, it was originally Uncle Su Fugui who went, but Grandma couldn't bear to let him go and let the second son Suhi go instead. However, Suhi thought that his family gave him such a good opportunity. In addition, when he joined the army and couldn't come back, it was his eldest brother who took care of his parents. After all, the third son Suyuanjang was still young, so Suyu's father felt a little guilty and felt that he had pushed all the burden of the family onto his eldest brother. Although Grandma Suyu was somewhat partial to the eldest brother, Suhi didn't think it was a big deal. After all, it was his eldest brother who took care of the family when he joined the army. It was understandable that his mother favored his eldest brother more. But he was not stupid. He knew that his salary had to be used to support his eldest brother's family over the years, but he didn't want to tear his face against him. Filial piety was still very important in rural areas. It's okay. Don't worry about Lai Sen's affairs, brother. I have my own way. Don't be impulsive. Clean up and prepare for dinner. Don't be busy anymore. Patting his elder brother Su Sheng on the shoulder, Su Yu picked up the enamel basin and walked out, poured water, washed his hands, and washed the little girl Su Jing as well. Hu Zai and Su Yu's mother had already walked into the room carrying the stewed fish. The food was served. Not long after, Su Jin came back, followed by Su's father. The two came back by bicycle. The commune brick factory had bicycles, but they were not used normally. When Su's father had something to do, he would often ride back, because the brick factory had more than one bicycle. Su's father was in charge of loading and unloading the trucks at the brick factory, and sometimes he also followed the trucks, including settling the final payment, which was all Su's father was responsible for bringing back. Therefore, he was a small official, equivalent to the foreman of a construction team. Dad, are you back? Hu Zai also greeted them. Several kids were around. There was a large enamel basin on the table with 7 pounds of fish in it. There was fish and soup, and the aroma was fragrant. Even though not much oil was added, it was still very fragrant in this era. Hu Zai is here too. Sit down, you're welcome. Hu Zai's father is a few years older than Su He, so Hu Zai calls Su Yu's father uncle and Su Yu's mother aunt. The two families are not far from each other and get along quite well. They are also within the 5 degrees of mourning, so during the Chinese New Year they will visit each other to pay New Year's greetings to the elders in each other's families. Third brother, this fish is really delicious. Do you want to go catch it this afternoon? I'll go with you. The fourth child, Su Jin, was eating with hearty mouthfuls while mumbling to Su Yu. You are not allowed to go. Finish your homework at home. School will start in a few days. If you have nothing to do, tutor your little sister. If you dare to go into the river, I will break your legs. Okay. Liu Yushai's words stunned the fourth brother, and Su Yu gave him an apologetic look, indicating that he could do nothing to help. Hu Zai grinned foolishly and didn't care about Su Jin, just eating by himself. There were 7 pounds of fish and 7 people. The little sister couldn't eat much at all, so 7 people ate very well. No wild vegetables were cooked at all. Everyone was full. It's not that they couldn't eat another pound of fish, but that their stomachs had become smaller due to hunger for a long time. If they ate a pound of fish and drank some fish soup, they would definitely be full. Don't run around in the afternoon. Go to work in the fields with your elder brother. Since you don't have to go to school anymore, help the family with some work. Don't be like your elder brother and idle around all day. After eating, the 4 of them sat in front of the door. Father Su smoked his pipe, and the 4 of them, including Hu Zai, were digesting the food. But no matter what, the eldest brother was implicated. The idle man that Father Su was talking about was Su Sheng. Since he turned 18, he rarely went out to play and has been helping the family with farm work. But talk aside, let Su Yu farm? Stop it, it's better to wait until the land is divided among households. In this kind of collective, even if you farm actively, you are just doing the work that others are lazy about. To put it bluntly, it's just a drop in the bucket and is useless. We can't expect a good harvest, but there is very little. Unless we encounter a bumper year, that is, a year with no shortage of rain, there will still not be enough to eat. Otherwise, why do you think that the country gradually became richer after the land was distributed to each household? Isn't it because of human nature, selfishness? Anyway, it doesn't matter how much you work, you get work points if you work hard. Lazy is one day, not lazy, but work hard, but still get the same points. Do you expect people to rely on self-consciousness and morality to restrain themselves and be positive? Work hard on farming? Come on, let's not talk about anything else. Just say weeding, go into the cornfield, stay there for a whole day, and only do half a day's work. Just try to put it off. Anyway, sooner or later someone else will do it. Even if you come up with a responsibility system, you still can't avoid laziness, because 10 work points are fixed for a day's work, and points will be deducted only if you are caught being lazy. But how many can you catch? Will it offend people if you catch too many? Anyway, it's not your own land, it's collective. Who would be so conscious to catch people and offend them? I won't go to the fields this afternoon. Let Big Brother do it. It's only half a day's work points. It's not worth it. I plan to go into the mountains with Huzai and catch some game. Sanshuiwan village is close to the mountains. When the farming season is not busy, the village militia organizes hunting, so it is not surprising that there are many animals in the mountains. You and Huzai want to go into the mountains? No, it's too dangerous. Sue's father flatly refused, and his eldest brother also joined in, but in short, he just didn't agree. Don't worry, we don't have any weapons, so we won't go into the mountains. We'll just stay on the outskirts and catch some pheasants and rabbits. It'll be fine. Hearing that it was on the outskirts, Sue's father did not stop them. All the children who lived near the mountains would go to the outskirts of the mountains. Whether they were collecting firewood, picking mushrooms, or catching pheasants and rabbits, they were all at the foot of the mountain in the woods on the outskirts. There were no large beasts there near the village, only some small animals, so there was really no danger. It's up to you. Just be careful. If you don't want to go down, forget it. Because his mother's salary was often used to supplement his eldest brother's, Sue's father did not have much confidence and tried to adopt a gentle attitude in educating his children. This was also the reason why his eldest brother was once lawless. After resting for a while, Sue's father left for work, and his mother Liu Yuzhai and eldest brother went to the fields, because the village bell rang, notifying the villagers to go to the fields to work. Old 4, stay at home and help the girl with her homework. Don't run around. Do you hear me? After giving a special reminder, Su Yu and Huzai left home under Su Jin's resentful look. Do you have a horn bow at home? Give it to me to use. After going out of the gate, Su Yu spoke directly to Huzai. Huzai's father was in the militia. The reason why he was a militia was related to Huzai's grandfather. Huzai's grandfather was an old hunter, so Huzai's father had been into the mountains many times. Both his marksmanship and archery skills were not bad, so it was reasonable for him to join the militia. No, that's my father's treasure. If he knew I took it out secretly, he would break my legs. What are you afraid of? If you don't tell me and I don't tell you, who will know? Do you really want to just hang around outside? Don't you want to go in and take a look? The ox-horn bow was passed down from his grandfather's generation. Although there are guns nowadays, hunters at least use old cannon barrels, which are welded and filled with ammunition and iron sand. This kind of gun can be described as a shotgun. The maximum effective killing range is 50 meters, which is similar to a bow and arrow, but its killing range is large. Within 50 meters, a shotgun will hit the target and there will be no error within a few meters. The difference is that if you can't kill the monster or miss the target, you need to run away, because neither the wild boar nor the wolf will give you the chance to reload their ammunition. Ahem. My ox-horn bow is a 3-stone bow. Can you pull it? 1 she is 60 kilograms, 3 she is 180 kilograms, and a bow of 360 katas. The so-called she refers to the number of katas needed to pull the bowstring to a full moon. 1 she weighs 120 katas, which means that to pull a 1 she bow, only 120 katas are needed to fully pull the bowstring. It takes 360 kilograms to pull the bowstring into a full moon. In ancient times, only a great general could do this. When he heard that it was a 3-stone bow, Su Yu decisively gave up. With Su Yu's physique, it would be difficult for him to lift a 300 jin stone, let alone draw a bow. You have 300 great forces, but you may not be able to draw a 300 jin bow. These are two different things. So it can be seen that the bow in Huzai's family is probably just a decoration. It is estimated that no one has used it for several generations. It is just regarded as a family heirloom. It is understandable that people are unwilling to take it out. Chapter 7 Saving People in the Mountains, Encountering a Cannon Basket. Chapter 7 Saving People in the Mountains, Encountering a Cannon Basket. In the end, they did not take out the ox-horn bow from Huzai's house, but they did bring out 2 bows from his grandfather's house, 1 stone bow and 1 crossbow. Su Yu used the bow and Huzai used the crossbow. Brother Yu, can you do it? This is a crossbow. Even my grandfather can't pull it now. Only my father can use it. Su Yu didn't waste any words and pulled hard. Although it couldn't be pulled to a full moon, it was still no problem to pull it to half a moon. It's okay. It works. It's not that Su Yu likes to show off and has to use a bow and arrow instead of a crossbow. It's just that the more powerful the crossbow arrow is, the more troublesome it is to load it, while the bow and arrow don't have that disadvantage. Since it's for experience points and skill points, then of course he has to practice a one-step method. Does he have to practice his aim with a crossbow? And then practice the bow and arrow later? It's better to take it slowly. Okay, let's go. If it's any later, it will be too late for us to go home. The two of them carried what they needed and hurried towards the mountains. I heard from Gaosheng that there are bears around here, but I don't know if it's true or not. Gaosheng is a chatterbox who loves to exaggerate. Do you believe what he says? Don't scare yourself. Let's go quickly. Let's cross this mountain and go to Swan Lake. The so-called Swan Lake refers to a reed marsh. Because it is close to the mountains, animals often come here to drink water. Of course, it is named Swan Lake for a reason. When swans migrate, this place is a holy place for swans. Even if there are no swans, there is never a shortage of wild ducks and fish, so this place can be said to be a hunting holy place. However, this reed marsh is located in a depression around the mountains. Whether it is melted snow or rain water from the mountains, it basically flows here. Therefore, there is a swamp here, which is very dangerous. In addition, to get here, you need to climb a small hill, which is very tiring. Therefore, few people usually come here. The mountains near Sanshui Bay are different from each other. For example, the place where they usually hunt is a big mountain, and the small hill where they pass through to Swan Lake is also a small path. Most outsiders don't know about it at all, and only locals can go around it. Going to Swan Lake? Do you want to eat duck eggs? If we were to ask what the most abundant thing in Swan Lake is, besides fish, it would undoubtedly be duck eggs. However, people often fall into the swamp and die, so over time even the villagers dare not set foot there easily. Duck eggs? Look at the thing I'm carrying. Does it look like I'm going to pick up duck eggs? The bow and arrow that Su Yu was carrying was exactly what he had taken from his grandfather's house, so he understood what was said. Brother Yu, do you want to shoot some wild ducks? Why don't you hurry up now? Swan Lake is not close. If you can't get back, your dad will beat you up. Don't push it on me. Hu Zai chuckled. The two of them had a tacit understanding. When they were little, they always pushed the blame on each other when they were naughty. The adults in the family had already discovered it, so Su Yu brought it up just to adjust the atmosphere. Bang! Bang bang! What's that noise? It sounds like gunshots. The two originally wanted to quickly pass through the woods, climb over the hill and enter Swan Lake, but before they left the woods, they heard gunshots from the left. The interval is quite long. As expected, it should be an old cannon. The old cannon barrel is not like a rifle. It needs to be loaded with gunpowder and iron sand, or steel balls. However, ordinary people cannot afford steel balls and can only use crushed iron slag instead. Even for an experienced hunter, it would take at least 30 seconds to reload after each shot. And as the 3 shots just now were fired, judging from the time intervals between them, it was undoubtedly an old gun. Brother Yu, what should we do? Could it be someone from the village? Should we go over and take a look? The reason I ask this is that experienced hunters know that after firing the first shot, they have to run away. Unless they can't run away, they generally won't fire the second shot. It was obvious that the shot just now was fired at a short interval, which means that the opponent reloaded quickly, which means that the opponent may be in trouble. There are many wild boars here. Maybe someone has encountered a group of wild boars. Let's go and take a look. If they are from our village, we will feel guilty if we don't save them. It was just a guess just now, and it may not be a bad thing. It's better to go over and take a look. After the two men discussed it, they took out their bows and arrows and trotted forward at the risk of their waists. Before they arrived, they heard dogs barking. There's a big guy here, be careful. People who hunt frequently know that you can judge the size of the prey by listening to the barking of the hound. The hound was obviously a little frightened just now, and its barking was a little anxious. It was obvious that the prey on the opposite side was a big one. I'll go over first. If you can't defeat me, just ignore me and run away. Do you hear me? What nonsense are you talking about? How could I, Su Zhaohu, abandon my brothers and run away alone? Hurry up and save them. After saying this, Hu Zai walked over first. Su Yu was afraid that something might happen to him, so he followed him. Brother Yu, look, there's someone over there. Looking in the direction Hu Zai pointed, I indeed saw a man lying on a big rock over there, his chest still heaving, but blood was all over the ground. Don't look at him, hurry up and see what it is. The hounds are just barking and not daring to move forward. It looks like it's a big one. Brother Yu, you don't understand. They are protecting their master, not afraid to go up. Look at that black dog, didn't it rush up? Hu Zai's grandfather is a hunter, so he naturally has hunting dogs at home. He knows more than Su Yu. Stop talking nonsense and go check it out, don't die in the end. Su Yu was extremely alert, holding a stone bow with an arrow on the string. He did not dare to move away and approached the big man cautiously. Hu Zai did the same. He held a crossbow in his hand, horizontally in front of him, and followed closely, looking in all directions. He walked slowly closer, fearing that a big beast would suddenly jump out of the bushes. Uncle, are you okay? Su Yu came up to him, sniffed his breath, and confirmed that he was still breathing, but there was a cut on his abdomen and bleeding profusely. Fuck, it's a cannon basket, brother, you, be careful. The so-called cannon basket is a wild boar, the kind used for breeding. It has a huge body and a pair of testicles that are like 2 peaches. This kind of wild boar weighs about 400 kilograms and runs like a jeep. You can imagine the consequences of a collision. The cannon basket was exposed because it was chased by the hunting dogs. A quick glance at it scared Huzai so much that his legs went weak. This thing can break any thin tree even if you are on a tree. A tree as big as a bowl is no problem for the cannon basket. Especially that pair of fangs, which can knock people off their feet and rip open their stomachs with one hit. The wild boar has a violent temper and will actively attack humans. It has a strong sense of territory. If this uncle did not have 6 dogs, it would have died here. Wild boars are man-eaters. It's not that they don't eat meat. When they are hungry, they will eat anything. Keep your voice down, do you want to die? Be careful, I will carry you down the mountain first. As he spoke, Su Yu took off his coat, held the uncle's abdomen, lifted the uncle with one hand, put him directly on his back, and then hurriedly started down the mountain along the way he came. Huzai followed closely behind, and several dogs followed not far behind, but there were still other dogs trying to stop the wild boar and harass it, and 2 other dogs died on the side, and it seemed that they had not survived. Alas, what a pity, such a loyal and protective dog. Chapter 8 Huang Lao was saved, and there was a sister control at home. Chapter 8 Huang Lao Hen is saved, and there is a sister control in the family. Uncle Yaokei, come on. Can you take a look and see if he can be saved? Su Yu and Huzai hurried down the mountain and ran all the way to Lai Yaokei's house in the village. He was the doctor in Sanshui Bay, and everyone in Sanshui village had a surname other than Su. Save him? Save who? I say, boy, you didn't hit him, did you? Hey, Uncle Yaokei, please stop joking with me. This is a matter of life and death. There really is someone who needs your help. Lai Yaokei strode forward and saw the middle-aged man on the ground. Hey, isn't this Wang Liadeng from Huangjia village? Who is? I met someone in the mountains who was injured by a cannon basket. Please take a look. Is there anyone who can be saved? Before Su Yu could speak, Huzai answered first. Lai Yaokei was also not vague. He squatted on the ground and took the patient's pulse, frowning. Bring the men in, be gentle. He has lost too much blood. Whether he can survive depends on his luck. I will stop the bleeding first and then sew up the wound. Although Lai Yaokei is a traditional Chinese medicine doctor, he is also quite knowledgeable about Western medicine. The villagers always ask him to castrate and suture pigs, sheep, and cows. This does not mean that he is a veterinarian, but there is no veterinarian in the countryside. The villagers come to him for help, and it is difficult for Lai Yaokei, a fellow villager, to refuse. Perhaps doctors from outside would feel that this is an insult to him, but people in the countryside are not so particular. Anyway, they are all helping. All the castrated sheep, cow, and pig treasures were accepted by Lai Yaokei as rewards and went into his heart's content. So he actually has needles and thread for sutures, as well as various disinfectants, alcohol, etc. Lai Yaokei didn't waste any words. He took out a silver needle and quickly gave Huang Liadeng a few injections. The bleeding in his abdomen stopped instantly. Fuck, this is amazing, Uncle Yaokei, you are really amazing. Hearing Huzai's praise, Lai Yaokei's face was full of smiles, and he said proudly, of course, my ancestors were imperial doctors. Do you think I got the reputation for nothing? Lai Yaokei always said that his ancestor had an imperial physician, but no one in the village believed him. After all, Lai Yaokei had been rooted in the village since his grandfather's generation, and no one in the village had ever heard of an imperial physician. They all thought he was bragging, but Su Yu seemed to believe it a little, because it was really amazing. He could stop bleeding directly with just a few injections. I'm afraid that even professors of Chinese medicine in the 20th century might not have such skills. Okay, you 2 guys, stop getting in the way here. Go to Huangjia village and inform them to come, so that his family won't worry. Upon hearing this, Su Yu and Huzai nodded repeatedly. They were so panicked for a moment that they even forgot to notify the other party's family. If they died, they wouldn't even be able to see their family for the last time. The key is that they can't explain it clearly. Ah yes, let's go now. Return. Just as he was about to run out, Lai Yaokei called him back. Uncle Yaokei, what's the matter? Huzai looked helpless. It was at least 20 miles to Huangjia village. It was already dark when he went back and forth, but he was still dawdling. Huzai was afraid of getting beaten if he came back late. You are a man of few words, but you are not reliable. You 2 boys don't even know the old man's name. What are you going to say when you go to Huancun? Why don't you know his name? Isn't he Huang Liadeng? At the end of it, Hu Zai realized that this seemed to be an insult. Only then did he realize that this was a way Lai Yaokai addressed the other party, just like peers calling each other by nicknames. Su Yu also realized that if he really forgot to ask the name and went to Huangjia village, as soon as he said he was looking for Huang Liading's house, he would probably be beaten out by the villagers of Huangjia village. Lao Ding means old man. Lai Yaokai definitely knows Huang Liading. But it is not surprising. Lai Yaokai is a doctor. There is no one in the neighborhood whose medical skills are better than his. There is really everyone in this area that he does not know. After all, he is occasionally invited to other villages to see patients. It was obvious that the two knew each other, so there was no problem with Lai Yaokai calling him that, but for two young people like them to go to Huangjia village and ask like that was almost considered a provocation. It's like if you go to a village with the surname Hu and ask the old monkey who his family is, it would be considered polite if they don't beat you. Hey, remember, this old guy is called Huang Hengsheng and he lives in the west end of Huangjia village. You'll know once you go into the village and ask. New. The two nodded. Lai Yaokai definitely did it on purpose. Lai Yaokai was not arrogant and could make a joke with anyone, so he often bickered with young people. This was definitely intentional. They almost got tricked by him. The two smiled at each other, then hurried out of the village and ran all the way towards Huangjia village. Brother Yu, look, these dogs are leading the way. Aren't they so smart? Su Yu took a look and found that, as expected, they had no choice but to bring the middle-aged man to Sanshuwen village. After all, they didn't know the man and they couldn't just stand by and watch him die, so of course they took him to see a doctor first. So the dogs followed him all the way. They didn't dare to get too close but followed from a distance. The big black dog that was confronting the cannon basket in the forest was also among them, which meant that all the dogs had been evacuated and only 4 were left. The other 2 could not come back. The 2 dogs were dying when they left, and even if they were brought back, they might not be saved. Moreover, the situation was critical at that time, so naturally the first thing to do was to save people. Yes, they are very smart. They probably know that we are trying to save their master, but they are also very worried and don't want to leave. When they saw that we were heading towards Huangjia village, they ran ahead to lead the way. There is one more thing Su Yu didn't say. These dogs may want to confirm where they took their owners so that they can go home and bring their families to look for them, so they've followed them all the way. I have to say, they are really good dogs and they understand human nature. The dogs walked slowly, looking back from time to time, barking a few times and then continued on their way. Hu Zai and Su Yu were no longer surprised. They were afraid that they would take the wrong road, so they asked them to keep up. However, they had just run back to the village from the mountains after a distance of 20 miles and were already tired, so neither of them could walk fast. After rushing all the way, they finally arrived at Huangjia village just as it was getting dark. They found a villager and said they were looking for Huang Hengsheng. Only then did they find his home. However, the dogs had already run back since they entered the village. Brother Yu, listen, the dog is barking. It's probably calling for someone. Unfortunately, his family doesn't understand what it means. Okay, stop being so funny and go get some help. I'm dying of exhaustion. The two knocked on the door and soon a girl with pigtails came out. Hey, who are you looking for? The girl thought it was her father who came back. After all, the dog had come back and her father should have been slow to come back with the prey on his back. She opened the door when she heard the knock, but it turned out to be 2 strangers. Hello, are you Huang Hengsheng's family? So the 2 of them talked together and finally figured out the whole story. When the girl heard that her father was injured and her life or death was unknown, she became anxious and tears started to fall. Big brother, second brother, come out quickly, something happened to dad. This sad cry called out 2 young men, who looked to be in their 20s. Each of them was muscular and strong and was no shorter than Su Yu, definitely a northern hunk. Little sister, don't cry. What happened? Did something happen to dad? What happened? Hey, who are these 2 guys? Being stared at unkindly by the 2 big men, Su Yu and Hu Zai took a step back together. Su Yu was familiar with that look, it was definitely the look of a sister Khan. Chapter 9 Huang's daughter has grown up. Huang Sa Chapter 9. Huang's daughter grows up. Huang Sa. Su Yu took another look at the girl. She had an oval face, willow-shaped eyebrows, and 2 dimples when she smiled. Then he looked at her figure. Oh my god, although she was wearing thick clothes, her butt was completely round and couldn't be covered. Her waist was so small. If he had such a pure girl, he would also watch her very closely. But thinking about his silly sister, who only knew how to eat, I won't say any more. Boy, are you still looking? I'm asking you a question. Who are you? Being questioned by her eldest brother, the little girl looked back and saw Su Yu looking at her towering breasts. She felt embarrassed and angry, but when she thought that this was her father's savior, she held it back and said nothing more. But in her heart, she had already sentenced Su Yu as an unrestrained lecher. However, she knew her appearance very well, and many people in the village called her a foxy girl. After all, in this era, square faces, big butts, and sturdy bodies are the most beautiful. People like her with a slim figure and a perky butt are very much like the vixen in picture books. But by this time Hu Zai had already reacted, and she immediately said, don't get me wrong, we are here to inform you that your father is injured and is now at the doctor's house in Sanshuuin village. We are here to tell you. After stumbling a bit, Hu Zai finally finished his words, and during the conversation he did not forget to pull Su Yu's arm. By then Su Yu had already reacted, and realized that it was indeed impolite to stare at her just now. It was not like he had never seen a woman before. He had traveled through time and space, and when he was in his 40s, he had rescued many young girls who had fallen into misfortune. So he had seen all kinds of women. Although the other party was good-looking, it was just that in the context of that era, he had never seen such a natural beauty, so he was a little dazed for a moment. When they heard that their father was injured and his life or death was unknown, and he was still recuperating at Lai Yaokai's home in the next village, the two brothers became anxious. How could my father get hurt? He was taking Dabao and the others with him. The Dabao he mentioned should be referring to the dogs outside. Indeed, hunters all know that the danger level is two different things with and without hunting dogs. Once you encounter wolves, wild boars, or even cheetahs, if there are 7 or 8 hunting dogs, and they are all large dogs, then even if you have a cannon, you have the opportunity to fire 3 shots, because the dogs will harass you and risk their lives to create opportunities for you. But if there is no dog, the hunter needs to face the ferocious beast directly. If the shot misses, he may not be able to escape even if he runs. But with hunting dogs, it is different. The hunting dogs will harass. Once the beast attacks the hunter, the dogs will bite it from the side. Once the beast fights back, the hunting dogs will retreat, and other dogs will continue to harass from other directions. In this way, both the cheetah and the coyote will be entangled, which at least gives the hunter time to either fight back or escape. It's useless. Your father encountered a cannon basket. My brother saw it and took a quick glance. It weighed at least 400 kilograms. Didn't you notice that 2 of your dogs were missing? When we left, the 2 dogs were already dying. They are probably dead now. It's true that your father has 7 hounds, but there are only 2 large dogs. The others are medium-sized dogs, which are of no use to wild boars. Yes, without the bite force of a large dog, it won't do much harm to the wild boar, it's just a tickle. Once the cannon basket goes crazy, the large dog will die anyway. For example, the German Shepherd, although it is a large dog, can't withstand a casual collision with the cannon basket. Okay, stop chatting and hurry to Sanshuuin village. Father is waiting for you. But my mother has gone to Aunt Liu's house and hasn't come back yet. Should I leave someone behind to tell her? Second brother, you stay and wait for mother. My eldest brother and I will go first, and you can follow us later. After a lot of discussion, they finally came to a decision. Little brother, I'm sorry for being rude to you just now. I just heard from your brother that it was you who carried my father down the mountain. Thank you. The little girl also looked at him with gratitude. Su Yu turned around to look at Hu Zai and silently gave him a thumbs up. Ha, you're welcome, it's human nature. Haha, I hope you understand. By the way, my name is Huang Shan, my brother is Huang Hai, and my sister is Huang Sa. What's your name? Hearing that his sister's name was Huang Sa instead of Huang Hu, he secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, if a little girl was named Huang Hu or Huang He, that would be a really speechless name. Brother Shan, just call me Su Yu, no need to be so polite. The one behind me is my childhood friend, Su Ziohu. The 3 of them made brief introductions and got to know each other. Although they were familiar with the route back, they were not going fast. Both Su Yu and Hu Zai were exhausted. Huingshan had no choice but to leave the person behind and go ahead, right? So it wasn't long before Huang Hai and his mother caught up, and the group of 6 hurried back. Along the way, several people also found people they could talk to. Anyway, there was nothing to do if they didn't talk, so they just chatted while walking. So Huang Hai chatted with Su Ziohu, Huang Shan chatted with Su Yu, and Huang Sa followed behind, supporting her mother and chatting at the back. 20 miles is not far, but the road is really difficult to walk on because that's how mountain roads are, sometimes uphill and sometimes downhill. Although this road is not on the mountain, it is also difficult to walk on. It was only 20 miles, and we finally arrived at Sanshuuin village before it got dark. After knocking on Lai Yaokai's door and walking in, Su Yu briefly introduced himself to Lai Yaokai and said hello. Then he planned to leave. He had been busy all day but got nothing. Not only did he not see any meat, he also did not get any skill points. He was a little unwilling to give up, so he decided to go to the lake to try his luck. Okay, you're here too. I'll go back first. Take good care of your father. Uncle Yaokai's house should have an extra room, you can just stay there for the night. Lai Yaokai has only one son and one daughter. His daughter is in elementary school and his son has been admitted to the county hospital. He passed away a long time ago, so there are only him and his daughter at home. His daughter is 14 years old and is in the 5th grade. Brother Su, today is really thanks to you. Auntie thanks you for saving our boss. When he wakes up and recovers, I will ask Huang Shan and Huang Hai to come to thank him. Haha, no need. Auntie, it's not a big deal. If you encounter it in the mountains, anyone will help you. It's really not necessary. I'm leaving first. After saying this, he gave Hu Zai a wink and the two of them left together. Brother Yu, this is not the way home, where are you going? Nonsense, I've been out all day and didn't catch any meat, so it's all for nothing. Are you willing to accept that? Hu Zai thought about it and felt unwilling to accept it. They had agreed to go to Swan Lake, but they encountered such a thing on the way. However, the person's life was at stake and they had to save him. What should I do? It's getting dark now. If I don't go home, my dad will beat me. Su Yu curled his lips and rolled his eyes. You are 18 years old now, you are an adult. Why does your father still beat you? I plan to go to the lake and catch some fish. Okay, I'll accompany you. At worst I'll get beaten up. Su Yu hit him like a hammer, teasing, I told you you're stupid, but you still don't admit it. When you go back, can't you say that you went to Huangjia village to notify people? We saved people today, and this matter probably can't be concealed. Tomorrow the whole village will know about it, and your father won't be happy enough. As for when you will return to the village, you don't say it and I don't say it either. Isn't it up to us to decide when you will return? Hey brother you are smart. Why didn't I think of it? When my dad asked me, I said that I came back late because Lai Yaokai asked us to go to Huan Kun to call for help. Hee. Chapter 10 Su He is unworthy of being a son, Su Yu is as cunning as a fox. Chapter 10 Su He is unworthy of being a son, Su Yu is as cunning as a fox. You stay up there. I'll go down and take a look. As he spoke, Su Yu took off his shoes and socks, rolled up his trouser legs, went down the ditch and holding a harpoon made of branches, he walks towards one direction step by step. Brother Yu, can I accompany you? It's hard to catch it by yourself. It's dark now. Can you see it? Don't worry, you can't see it, so there's no point in coming down. Hu Zai curled his lips. He couldn't see clearly, but could the other party see clearly? Little did he know that although Su Yu couldn't see clearly, he had dug a hole in the place where fish were active when he left last time. This time he wanted to take a look in that big hole. He was the one who dug the hole, so he naturally knew where it was. Just to avoid disturbing the fish, he moved very slowly and Hu Zai, who was sitting on the roadside, wished he could jump into the water himself. But Su Yu waved his hands again and again. He couldn't be allowed to come over and cause trouble at this time. After all, his fishing skills had reached level 3 and he was familiar with the habits of fish. The other party didn't have any cheats. If he got scared and ran away, wouldn't that be a pity? With the faint moonlight, Su Yu saw the fish in a big pit not far away. There were many small fish, but he could not see the big fish. He could only vaguely see a black thing, like the back of a fish. Su Yu was not sure, but if he caught the small fish, the big fish would be frightened and run away. But if he made a mistake and caught the big fish, the small fish would definitely escape. Alas, even if we catch small fish, it won't be enough to eat. Let's take a gamble. In the end, he decided to catch the big fish. After all, big fish are more satisfying, otherwise there is no point in catching small fish. Su Yu gripped the harpoon tightly, rushed forward suddenly, and the harpoon in his hand was instantly thrust out. Accurately predicted, ripples appeared on the river water, and a fish weighing 3 pounds was pierced through. Fuck, did you really catch a fish? Hu Zai was surprised. He originally thought that the other party was just here to catch fish for fun and didn't expect to get anything. Unexpectedly, the other party actually caught a fish. Ding dong. Experience points increased by 3. Host, Su Yu age, 19 strength, 8 speed, 8 skill points, 38 skill. Fishing if 3 a total of 3 points were added. As long as he could gain other skills, he could use skill points to upgrade them, which would save a lot of time. Su Yu was very happy. He raised his hand, grabbed the fish, and strode back to the shore. Let's go. We made quite a noise just now and the fish were frightened. We can't catch them. Let's go home. Hu Zai was awesome along the way, and Brother Yu was awesome too. Alright, go home quickly. If you want to eat fish, just tell your parents and come to my house. I won't call you. The two of them returned, so late, Hu Zai must have gone home first, otherwise his father might come to his house with a kitchen knife to arrest him. Okay, got it. By the way, are you going into the mountains tomorrow? Su Yu thought for a moment and said, it depends on the situation. If you go, I will come to find you. The reason why he was not sure was because of what happened during the day. If his family heard that there was a cannon basket in the mountain, they would definitely tell him not to go into the mountain, especially when this matter was related to him. His family would definitely think it was a blessing, but this kind of blessing would not always turn a disaster into a blessing. So if he wanted to go into the mountain, it would be a long way to go, but he had to go into the mountain, otherwise how could he brush out the archery skill? How could he upgrade the archery skill? After saying goodbye to Hu Zai, he returned home. When he opened the door, he saw his little sister sitting at the gate, digging in the soil. As expected, my sister is only as good as other people's, but my own is just a fool. Hey Senguo, you're back? Her scream startled everyone in the room. Her eldest brother, mother, and father all came out. Why are you back so late? Didn't you go into the mountains? Why are you holding a fish in your hand? When his father asked, Su Yu could only smile awkwardly. There was no harvest in the mountains, so I caught a fish on the way back. Oh, second son, your father just can't eat these days. Can you let mother take this fish back to give your father a boost? Upon hearing this, Su Yu realized that there was a little old lady standing behind his mother. Wasn't she his biased grandmother? No wonder my little sister would rather hide at the door than go in. It turned out that the old lady had come. My little sister was a girl and was even less likable, so the old lady didn't care about her at all. Over time, the little girl became a little afraid of her grandmother. Seeing his sister looking at the fish in his hand eagerly, Su Yu decisively refused and spoke in advance. No, this fish was caught by Hu Zai and I together. Hu Zai has a portion. You will come over to eat the fish later. If you want some, I will ask the price for you. I believe he will definitely be willing to give you a fair price. Naturally, Su's father didn't believe this. Not only him, but his mother and elder brother also didn't believe it. But no one said anything, not even his father, who had always been filial, did not refute anything. What? You're still asking me for money? Second brother, this is the good son you raised? He's still asking his own grandmother for money? What? Your father wants to eat one of your fish and you're reluctant to give it up? The old lady knew that her son was the breakthrough point, so she ignored Su Yu and directly questioned Su's father. Oh, grandma, what you said is true. This fish has a share for Hu Zai, but also for me, right? If you take it away, you must give him an explanation, but if you eat a bite of the fish, it won't be necessary. In this way, I will invite grandpa to come over to eat fish and Hu Zai won't say anything, and you don't have to spend a penny. How about it? Su Yu's words solved Su's father's dilemma. There was indeed something wrong with what he said. It was indeed inappropriate for you to take away all the fish that two people caught together, and it would not be appropriate for anyone to take it. But there was no problem eating the fish together. Hu Zai would not mind adding a grandfather. What he said made sense. Yeah, Mom, why spend that money? My dad wants to eat fish, so let Su Yu invite his grandfather over and have it at home, so that we can show our filial piety. What do you think? The mother came out to help, but the grandmother refused to accept it. If the fish was to be taken back, it would definitely be given to the uncle's family and her beloved grandson, Su Bin. If his grandfather came to eat it, wouldn't his grandson get nothing to eat? It's impossible for the whole family to come here just to eat a 3-pound fish, right? Doesn't his eldest son have any face? HMPH, forget it. Since you two don't have that kind of filial piety, I won't force you to do it, so that others won't accuse me of taking advantage of my age. The words were sarcastic and Su Yu was so angry that he wanted to kick her. However, the old lady opposite was his grandmother and his father would definitely not agree. In that era, people still attached great importance to reputation and filial piety. This is the tight curse. It is very difficult to break unless you really bear the stigma of being unfilial. Zhao Yu, how about I pay you to give the fish to your grandma? His father started to act stupidly again. Whenever the old lady said something sinister, his father would hurriedly admit his mistakes. Su Yu was really convinced. Dad, if I give the fish to grandma, doesn't she have to clean it up herself when she gets home? Is that better than just eating it directly? You are so unfilial that you don't even want to cook a meal for my grandma? You are unworthy of being a son. I'll go find the village chief and ask him to judge. He's not willing to cook a fish meal for his own mother and he wants my grandmother, who's so old, to cook it herself. Humph. Su Yu turned around and was about to leave, but his father was confused. What did this brat say? Was he unworthy of being a son? Was he unfilial? The whole family was stunned. Su Yu had just shouted, and many neighbors must have heard it. Zhao Yu, wait, don't go to the village chief. Grandma doesn't want to eat anymore. I have something else to do. I'm leaving first. Second brother's family, please think about what I said. After saying this, the old lady left, leaning on her walking stick. The eldest brother chuckled, ran over, patted him on the shoulder and gave him a thumbs up. The two brothers smiled at each other, but Su Yu quickly noticed his father's expression. But he saw that he had found a short stick from somewhere and was walking towards him. As he walked, he gnashed his teeth and said, I am unworthy of being a son. I am unfilial. Su Yu, very good. Today I will let you know why the flowers are so red. Chapter 11 A Strange Family, A Scapegoat. Chapter 11 A Strange Family. The scapegoat. Su Yu ultimately didn't escape the bamboo fried meat, and his screams lasted for a full 10 minutes. Of course, Su's father was not that cruel. He just chased and beat him for a few dozen minutes, and when he got tired, he was done. Okay, stop pretending. I didn't use much force and you're going to keep groaning. Go pick up the fish. After saying this, Su's father went into the house, and his eldest brother Su Sheng came over with a gloating look on his face. Su Yu rolled his eyes and said indignantly, How dare you laugh? Why didn't you help me hold it back just now? My father almost beat me to death. Hey, you deserve it. Who told you to say that our father was disobedient and unfilial? Who else should I hit if not you? Besides, when I, your brother, was being beaten, I didn't see you step forward to stop the fight. Big pot, 3 pots, when are we going to eat fish? Before the two of them finished their conversation, they saw Su Jing looking at them eagerly. Okay, I owe you this. I'll go get the fish for you right away. As he spoke, he picked up the fish and walked out the door. Hey, third brother, wait for me, I'll help you. Su Sheng took big steps and chased after him. They walked out of the house and there was a bay not far away. There was stagnant water here, which was all accumulated rainwater. Usually, villagers were reluctant to go to the river and some women came here to wash clothes. Anyway, it was dark, so Su Yu was not afraid of being seen, so he carried the fish to the bay and began to pick it up. Let me do it, you just watch. Su Sheng grabbed it and Su Yu didn't argue with him. Suddenly he seemed to think of something, so he asked, By the way, what did Grandma say just now? What did she ask our mother to consider before she left? As soon as Grandma left, Su's father immediately showed his loving fatherliness and filial piety. Su Yu didn't have time to ask, so he asked about his eldest brother. Oh, that's good. Isn't our grandmother from Zhangjiazhuang? Our eldest aunt is also from Zhangjiazhuang, and she is her niece from her mother's side. Although she is not a biological niece, she is not out of the 5th degree of mourning. Do you know this? Grandma's name was Zheng Ziyume, and the aunt's name was Zheng Xiaolian. Su Yu knew that they were both from the same village. After all, marriages in rural areas usually took place between nearby villages. I know. What does this have to do with Grandma's visit this time? Hey, doesn't your aunt have a brother? Her brother has a daughter who is 20 years old this year. I heard she's pretty and about your age. This time she came here to propose marriage to you. Grandma said that our father and uncle are brothers after all. But the younger generations of the two families are always bickering and quarreling, causing discord in the family. This is not good. It just so happens that the niece of the eldest aunt is about the same age as you. If this is successful, then your future daughter-in-law will be the niece of the eldest aunt and also the cousin of Su Bin, Su Zai, and Su Yaoqing. Will the relationship between the younger generations of the two families be eased soon? The key is that we are family, we know each other well, and my aunt is also her real aunt. She will definitely not look down on our poverty. A small gift will be fine. If you can't come up with 10 yuan, 7 or 8 yuan will be fine. The main reason is that we know each other well. Third brother, what do you think? How is it? How is her uncle? After saying that, Su Yu stood up angrily with a furious look on his face. Su Sheng noticed something was wrong. Logically speaking, even if he was unhappy, there was no need to get so angry. What's wrong with you? Are you unwilling to reconcile with your uncle's family? I don't think it's necessary. It's all because of Grandma's partiality and Dad's nagging every day. Wouldn't it be great if we could ease the relationship between the two families? My aunt's niece is called Zhang Hanmei, right? She works as a custodian in the village, right? Upon hearing this, Su Sheng finally realized that something was wrong. He only found out today what his aunt's and niece's names were. Although the two families had the same grandparents, their relationship was not very good. Even though his father actively tried to reconcile them, he could not influence the children's thoughts. He was only hearing the other person's name for the first time, so why did the third brother already know it? And also knew what the other person did? Hey, third brother, how did you know? Have you met the aunt's niece? Su Yu thought to herself, not only have I seen it, I also know a lot of things. There was a lot of commotion in the previous life. In the previous life, my great-aunt's niece, Zheng Hanmei, married a bachelor from the neighboring village. At that time, some people complained, saying that flowers were stuck in cow dung. But 16 years later, Zheng Hanmei's husband accidentally discovered that the child was not his biological child. Under pressure, he found out that she was ruined by a male-educated youth in the village, but for some reason, the male-educated youth was able to go back, and she concealed the matter and ran away. Later, Zheng Hanmei found out that she was pregnant. At that time, abortion was not an easy matter. One had to show a marriage certificate and get the husband's signature. Because of this, many people died from having abortions in black clinics. But in the countryside, you can't find a black clinic even if you want to, so pregnancy becomes a thorny issue. In her previous life, Su Yu remembered that she married an old bachelor next door who was 10 years older than her. But there was no way. In order not to arouse suspicion, she even arranged a scene where she got drunk. It didn't arouse the other party's suspicion at the time. Maybe it was because the bachelor had nothing and he didn't expect what the other party wanted from him. What's going on? Tell me what's going on. If grandma wants to cheat us, then I won't agree. I'll help you. Let's talk about it when we get back. This matter is not simple. Yes, it is not simple. He had just been beaten by Lai-san, and right after that his grandmother came to propose marriage. The strange thing is, it was his biological grandmother. This matter was most likely related to Su Bin. He killed two birds with one stone. Not only did he solve the problem of his cousin's unexpected pregnancy, but he also eliminated his competitor. No one would compete with him for Zhu Shaking. He killed two birds with one stone. Originally, he had only had a beautiful fantasy about Zhu Shaking and he just thought she was pretty. He didn't take action in his last life and he was more sober in this life, so he naturally wouldn't take action. But he didn't expect that because of this incident, Su Bin would let him take the blame? Damn, he thought he was easy to bully. After saying that, Su Yu went home first. Su Sheng went into the kitchen to cook for his youngest sister. The fourth child, Su Jin, sat obediently at the table doing his homework. Su Yu strode back home, opened the door, and said straight to the point, "Mom, Grandma is here to talk about marriage." Seeing his son so anxious, he thought he wanted to get married, but seeing his face, why was he angry? So he nodded and said, "Yes, your grandma is here to propose marriage to you." "Mom, did you know that Zheng Hanmei, whom Grandma mentioned, was already pregnant? She was ruined by the male-educated youth, so she had to find another husband? Do you think your aunt doesn't know about this? Would she be so kind? Do you think Grandma is completely unaware? What kind of family are these? Grandma is not like Grandma, and your aunt is not like your aunt. Dad, I say in addition to giving Grandpa and Grandma living expenses, we should cut off ties with your uncle's family. We want to ease the relationship, and they want your son to raise someone else's son." Upon hearing this, the couple stood up. The eldest brother in the kitchen also heard his brother's words and his face was full of disbelief. "Third brother, do you know what you just said? There are some things that you can't say carelessly. If you ruin the girl's reputation, it will be a big deal. The male-educated youth's surname is Liu, and his name is Liu Yuanqing. If you don't believe me, go and find out for yourself. If she wasn't pregnant, I would have taken her surname Cheng. I also learned about this by chance. Don't ask me how I knew it, but I can't be wrong. Dad, how much hatred do your uncle's family have against you? Grandma is also with them. Are you sure she doesn't know the truth? That's her mother's family. That's enough. If you don't want to, then you don't want to. Your grandmother is old and doesn't go back to her parents' home easily. How would she know? If this is as you said, then you can only blame your aunt for being too cruel. Don't worry about it. I'll refuse it for you." Chapter 12 The Fierce Duo, The Su Brothers. Chapter 12 The Fierce Duo, The Su Brothers. After taking a deep look at his father, Su Yu said nothing, but he was 80% sure that Grandma must know the truth. This was a trap. He just didn't know what his aunt had done to make Grandma take part in it personally, which could have made the old lady disregard family affection and directly stand on his aunt's side. Su Yu didn't say much. He just wanted to bring up the issue so that his parents wouldn't agree without thinking, which would cause more trouble later. "Sanguo, where are you going?" Su Yu turned and left the room, heading straight for the door. "I'll go call Hu Zai over. You stay home and wait for the fish." He said this to his younger sister and also to his parents, to prevent them from thinking that he was going out to fight with his uncle's family. As Su Yu walked out of the room, he became angrier and angrier. In his previous life, in order to avoid his uncle's family, he went to another place alone. He didn't want to see his father's foolish filial piety. After all, on one side was his father and on the other side he knew it was a trap. Even if he didn't want to, his family would be the first to get hurt. Damn it, I didn't have any feelings for Zhu Shaking originally, but that bastard Su Bin was deliberately playing tricks on me, so don't blame me for interfering. Su Yu was walking forward while thinking about things and unknowingly came to Hu Zai's house. He knocked on the door and a boy of about 14 or 15 opened the door. "Hey, brother Su Yu, why are you here?" "Oh, it's Zhao Ben. I'm looking for your brother. Come to my house with your brother to eat fish later." Su Zhaoben is Su Zhaohu's brother. His name is quite funny. Hu Zai's father wanted to have more children to form the Chinese characters Hu Ben Zhong Lang Jiang, but things did not go as he wished. When it came to Su Zhaoben, all the children he had were girls. Hu Zai was 18 years old and Su Zhaoben was 15, a difference of 3 years. That was because when Hu Zai was born, his mother had a heavy bleeding and said that the fetus was displaced. After giving birth to Hu Zai with great difficulty, the doctor asked Hu Zai's mother to recuperate for a few years before giving birth to the second one. The villagers often make fun of Zhao Ben's name. After all, Zhao Ben and Zhao Ben do look alike. As Zhao Ben entered the gate, Hu Zai's father came out. "It's Su Yu. Why are you here at my house when you're not eating at home?" Since the two families were close, Hu Zai's father was not so polite when speaking to him. This was because Su Yu was the one who caused his son to make mistakes since he was young. Therefore, he did not have a good face towards Su Yu. He always kicked Su Yu a few times when he could not win the argument. Since they were not within the 5 generations of mourning, Hu Zai's father was considered the elder. "Hey, Uncle Dahai, let me call Hu Zai and some of his brothers and sisters to our house to eat fish." Hu Zai's father is Su Ruhi, nicknamed Dahai. His eldest son is Su Zhaohu, the second son is Su Zhaoben, the third son is a daughter, Su Ru, who is 14 years old this year, and the fourth son is a daughter, Su Kyonkian, who is 13 years old. You can tell from their age that he was anxious. He was anxious. He wanted to have children one after another, but the more you want a son, the more God will not let you get your wish. So Su Ruhai gave up. 2 brothers are enough. 2 sons and 2 daughters. He is content. He is old and can't make any more trouble. Su Ruhai's family had several brothers, so they were relatively poor. By the time he got married, he was already quite old. His wife had heavy bleeding during childbirth, so he had to wait for 2 or 3 more years. He had 3 children, a son and 2 daughters. If he continued to have children, he would have become an old man without shame. After all, his wife was fine, but he was almost 50 years old. Who would raise the children he had? "Hey brother you, why are you here?" It was agreed that if he wanted to eat fish, he could go over by himself. Hu Zai didn't contribute much, so he didn't plan to go over. Unexpectedly, Su Yu came to call for help. "I asked you to go eat fish. You have a share of the fish. If you don't go, then I'm being disrespectful. Hurry up and bring your brothers and sisters with you." Hu Zai glanced at his father, meaning, "It's late at night, can you let me out?" "What are you looking at? They're here to call you, bring your own food and get out of here." Su Ruhai has a bad temper. Not only is he rude to his son, he is also very rude to Su Yu, an outsider. "Okay, Zhao Ben, get some bread, let's go to brother Yu's house to eat fish." Su Ru and Su Kenkian, one was 14 and the other was 13. The 2 little girls were rather shy and followed reluctantly under the guidance of Hu Zai. As soon as he entered the house, the fish was just served on the table. Since Hu Zai was supposed to come and eat the fish, Su Sheng deliberately put more water when cooking the fish. After all, there were only 3 pounds of fish in total, which was not enough to eat. But in this era, fish soup is also a good thing. It is also very fragrant when used to soak steamed buns. "Sister Zhao or Sister Kinkian, you are here?" When the little girl Su Jing saw Su Ru and Su Kinkian, she was very happy and came over happily. "Since you are all here, please sit down and eat." "You are welcome." As the head of the family, Su He politely asked everyone to sit down. Su Zhao who took the lead and called everyone one by one. Su Zhao whose family was not lacking in basic family education. "You young people, please eat. The table is small and there is not enough space for you to sit. Your aunt and I can go to the kitchen to eat. Don't be polite and sit down to eat." After a few brief words, Su's father and mother went into the kitchen. They didn't sit at the table not just because they couldn't find space, but because they were afraid that if they went up, the children would not be able to relax and would be too restrained. "Brother Sheng, brother Yu, it would be bad if Uncle He and Auntie didn't come to the table. Wouldn't we be stealing the show?" "Okay, stop quibbling and sit down to eat. It doesn't matter where you eat. Anyway, your parents won't eat meat, so just drink some soup. It's the same no matter where you eat." Su Yu didn't say anything, but just spread his hands, indicating that he had no choice. Even if Hu Zai and the others didn't come, his parents wouldn't eat more, unless they caught 7 or 8 kilograms of fish like last time, otherwise his parents would save it for the children. "Will you go into the mountains tomorrow?" Su Sheng suddenly asked this question and everyone looked over. Well, I have this plan. What's the matter? Are you going too? The two brothers started chatting and I didn't get involved. I won't go. If I go, there will be no one left in our family to work in the fields. You have a head injury. If you don't want to go, then just stay at home and rest for a few days. After dinner, Su Xiaoben and Su Jin went out to play. They were of similar age and usually played together, so they had even more fun eating together. Su Jing was taken to another room by Hu Zai's sisters to talk in private. One was 8 years old, one was 13 years old, and one was 14 years old. Su Yu didn't care about these little kids. They could talk whatever they wanted. There were no outsiders around anyway. Hu Zai and Su Yu's elder brother Su Sheng entered his elder brother's room, and the three of them started chatting. Not long after, Hu Zai led his younger brother and sister back. Are you going to do anything to Su Bin? For no reason, the two brothers went out to see Hu Zai and his sister off. Suddenly, the eldest brother was standing at the gate, looking at Hu Zai's receding figure, and said something without context. Brother, why do you think I would do that? Su Sheng retracted his gaze, looked at Su Yu, and murmured, You and I are brothers, how could I not know you? Others say that the eldest brother of the Su family is a reckless man who likes to fight bravely. But I know that you, the third brother, are not bad either. It's just that you like to use your brain and are not as reckless as me. But deep down, you are like me and you can't stand being bullied. I don't want to stop you, I just want to say, if you want to kill someone, remember to call me. After saying that, Su Sheng turned around and went home. Su Yu looked at his brother's back, then retracted his gaze and looked at the moon in the distance, muttering, When did my brother learn to play deep? He's so sentimental all of a sudden, I can't stand it, haha. Chapter 13 Fighting back with Tooth, dragging others into the water. Chapter 13. Tit for tat, drag others down. The next day, Su Yu was still sleeping in when he heard a noise outside. He woke up in a daze and walked out. He saw that there was a scratch on the fourth brother's forehead and his clothes were torn into a mess. Old Four, what happened to you? Did you fight with someone? But the fourth brother was walking towards the eldest brother's room, saying as he walked, Damn Su Yaoking, I gave him face, but he still found someone to block me. Let's see if I chop him down or not. He's done for. As he said that, the boy crawled under his eldest brother's bed, going to look for Su Sheng's machete. Although Su Sheng hid it well, the brothers all knew where his eldest brother's knife was hidden. Su Yu woke up immediately and hurried into his eldest brother's room, dodging the machete that had just been taken out from under the bed. Third brother, what are you doing? Give it to me quickly. Give it to you? Give it to you bullshit, when did you learn how to chop people? You are a rebellious person. The fourth child, Su Jin, is only 14 years old, but he is already 1.65 meters tall. This is because his family has good genes. If he really takes a knife to chop someone, something bad is bound to happen. Tell me, what's going on? In the Su family, the eldest brother Su Sheng is already 23 years old, which is quite an age difference from Su Jin, so he likes to talk to the third brother Su Yu about everything, and it is Su Yu who helps when they need to step forward in a fight. After all, they are all little kids, and if it really comes to Su Sheng's turn to step forward, things will get out of hand. The younger sister Su Jing timidly turned her head to the side to peek, but Su Yu ignored her and just stared at Su Jin and asked, I went out to play today and was blocked by Su Yaoking from my uncle's family. He brought 3 of his classmates from the neighboring village to block me and started fighting. I was no match for them alone, so I argued with them for a while and then ran back. Su Yaoking, the third child and the second son in his uncle's family, is 1 year older than Su Jin. Why would he bother you when he's fine? It can't be for no reason, right? Upon hearing this, Su Jin stiffened his neck and said, That bastard said bad things about you, third brother, saying that you don't know what's good for you. He introduced my cousin to you because he thinks highly of our family, and he said that you don't know how to appreciate it and are deliberately looking for trouble. I was so angry that I said something back and then he started to fight. No wonder the fourth brother, who has such a mild temper, had to resort to knife surgery. It is really infuriating. However, the eldest uncle's youngest son is 15 years old this year. He is still a boy, not an adult, but he is already 19 years old. If he steps forward personally, he will inevitably be criticized. But he cannot swallow the anger and let his fourth brother swallow it. Well, go find a few good friends in the village and bring them to our house. Remember to invite more of them, especially the village chief and the families of those who have important positions in the brigade. Call all their children and I'll find a way to help you. So Su Yu whispered a lot of things in his ear. After giving him instructions, Su Yu went out, borrowed a bicycle from the village chief's house and headed straight to the county town. Not long after, Su Yu came back with a bag in his hand and handed it to Su Jin. Remember, you stole my things, got it? Su Jin chuckled and nodded repeatedly. Su Yu hid away, and not long after, 7 or 8 boys came to the house. All of them were 14 or 15 years old. Su Jin opened the package, which contained sugar, canned food, and various pastries. Uncle Jin, can we really eat as much as we want from this? The Su Yu family is not of low generation. Su Jin is only 19 years old, but he calls the village chief uncle. The village chief is already 50 years younger than him, so those who can play with Su Jin are of course his grandchildren, so it makes sense for him to call Su Jin uncle. Don't talk nonsense, just eat if I tell you to. But I've made it clear, we share the good times and the bad times. We'll seek revenge on Su Yaoking later. Don't be a coward. If anything gets broken, it's mine. If anyone tries to fool me, shrinks from it, and doesn't dare to start, I won't play with him next time. When I heard there was something delicious, I just wanted to have a fight. At worst, I would get beaten up, but it was worth it. Rural kids would have become tough if they hadn't been beaten every day. It's not like they were asked to kill anyone, they were just fighting. Brother Sujin, don't worry. We are originally from the same family. It is too unkind of Su Yaoking to bring outsiders to deal with you. Don't worry, we will help you deal with him. Some called him uncle, some called him brother, but none of them was over 15 years old. They were all little kids including Sujin, a total of 9 people. They hit it off immediately, ate and drank to their heart's content, and then a few of them picked up wooden sticks, tucked them into their clothes, and walked out of the house. Su Yaoking's 3 classmates would definitely not leave so early when they came home, so there is no doubt that they would be at my uncle's house. Xiao Peng, go call someone. Do you know what to say? The few of them had already discussed it, so the one called Xiao Peng nodded, and walked toward Su Yaoking's house. Not long after, there was a sound of glass breaking in the uncle's house. Su Yaoking was at home and saw it clearly. He saw Xiao Peng at a glance and chased out immediately. Several of his classmates followed behind him and ran out. When he turned into the alley, Xiao Peng suddenly stopped. You damn Xiao Peng, you dared to smash my glass? Are you tired of living? And you dared to run away, why don't you run away? Hey, why would I run away? I didn't break your glass, so don't spit blood at me. Upon hearing this, Su Yaoking's face was filled with anger. Fuck, you still dare to quibble? Get him. Just as he finished speaking, 4 people came out from the front. It was Su Jin. He walked in a square step with a smile on his face. What's the matter? Su Yaoking, are you used to bringing outsiders to bully the villagers? Do you always resort to violence? Who gave you the courage? Try to touch him once? As soon as he finished speaking, several people came out from the other end of the alley and blocked the exit, and there were also 4 or 5 people on Su Jin's side. As they spoke, everyone drew out short sticks from behind, looking very aggressive. This scene frightened Su Yaoking and his classmates. So it's you, Su Jin, what do you want to do? What? Of course I'm teaching you how to behave. Don't always bring people from other villages to bully people from your own village. It's not good for you to do that. As soon as he finished speaking, Su Jin took the lead and took a step forward, hitting him on the head with a stick. The wooden stick, as thick as the child's arm, hit Su Yaoking directly on the head and blood flowed out. Others also rushed forward, but none of them hit the head, all of them hit his body. Crackling sound and a beating. What are you doing? Stop it now. Someone happened to pass by the entrance of the alley and saw this scene. Withdraw. At Su Jin's command, everyone ran away. But Su Yaoking was in a miserable state. He was beaten black and blue and in pain all over. The men quickly notified Su Fugui, Su Yu's uncle. The person was sent to Lai Yaokai's home. He had only external injuries, none of which were serious, but they were all bruised and swollen. Su Fugui found out what happened only after he asked about the reasons. Su Fugui didn't know what to say. After all, he was his own nephew and it was his son who started it. But the aunt obviously couldn't swallow this anger. She scolded her uncle for being useless and turned to go to Su Yu's house, intending to hold him accountable. However, there was no one at Su Yu's house at this time. The boys had already run away and Su Yu was in the mountains with Hu Zai, so there was no one at home. Chapter 14 Basic Archery IV9, Strength IV15 Greatly Increased Strength. Chapter 14 Basic Archery IV9, Strength IV15 Greatly Increased Strength. What was Su Yu doing? He and Hu Zai were in the forest, still equipped with the same equipment as yesterday, Su Yu holding a stone bow and Hu Zai holding a crossbow. Suddenly Su Yu raised his hand and signaled Hu Zai not to move. Then Hu Zai looked in the direction Su Yu was looking and saw a rabbit lying on the ground not far away with its tail exposed. Its body could not be seen. It was about 20 meters away from them. It's so far, brother Yu, can you do it? Hu Zai asked quietly, and Su Yu waved his hand to signal him not to speak. But Su Yu was seen approaching slowly, following closely. His steps were very small and slow, and he crouched down as he approached little by little. The rabbit looked up at its surroundings from time to time, but Suyu happened to be on its back, so it had not yet noticed him and Huzai. Suyu stopped when the distance was less than 15 meters. This rabbit was a wild hare and was very sensitive to danger. Not to mention getting closer, even if he just stood there and stared at it, the wild hare would notice it in time. Therefore, Suyu did not dare to get closer, but saw Suyu raising his hand to draw the bow and aiming forward. This stone bow was indeed difficult to pull, but it was not impossible to pull it. After all, Suyu was an adult. Whoosh! The arrow flew away and the rabbit jumped half a meter high and ran away. Missed. However, the panel on Suyu's side indicated that the experience value increased by 8. It was obvious that he was hit, but he did not die. Impossible, he must have been shot. Chase him. Huzai thought Suyu was just embarrassed, so he didn't point it out and just followed him out. Sure enough, he found traces of blood in the bushes. Now Huzai believed it, but if he shot the rabbit, how far could it run with the arrow? Look around. Suyu did not rush to find the rabbit, but casually opened the system panel. Host, Suyu age 19 strength 8 speed 8 skills. Fishing if 3+, basic archery if 1+ skill points, 46 points. Suyu immediately showed a look of joy. Huzai thought that Suyu was excited because he shot the rabbit, but he didn't know that Suyu was excited because he had unleashed a skill. System, add points to basic archery. He shouted silently in his heart, and Suyu counted the plus sign after the basic swordsmanship in his mind. The panel changed instantly. Host, Suyu age 19 strength 13 speed 10 skills. Fishing if 3+, basic archery if 7+ skill points, 6 points. The points are added as follows. 1 + 2 + 4 + 8 + 10 + 15 consumes 40 skill points. It takes 1 point to upgrade to level 2, 2 points to upgrade to level 3, and the number of points required to upgrade to level 4 is doubled to 8. And this rule is not fixed. For example, different skills require different skill points. For example, relatively useless skills require very few skill points, while skills that are difficult to learn require a large number of skill points. And even if the difficulty is the same, the skill points required are different. For example, fishing is if 3. But if you practice it for most of the day and add some points, you may only need 1 point to upgrade to IV4 instead of needing more skill points. In other words, skills can be upgraded through your own practice, and your own efforts can reduce the skill points used. This is very humane and proves that hard work is useful. He can upgrade fishing to IV4 through hard work without spending any skill points. Of course it is very slow and difficult, otherwise everyone would be a fishing expert. However, there is no such concern when upgrading through skill points. It is a completely unreasonable upgrade. Basic archery IV7, a memory that did not belong to him merged into his brain, and at the same time, the corresponding strength and muscle memory began to change. Suyu's arms were growing thicker at a speed visible to the naked eye, and his muscles, not only his arms, but his entire body seemed to be filled with strength. After lifting up his clothes, Suyu discovered that he actually had abdominal muscles, and his biceps were very well developed, not swollen, but with beautiful lines. At the same time, his arms were full of strength and his whole body seemed to be injected with hormones extremely powerful. This is the change from IV1 to IV7, which is very obvious. Huzi, go this way, the rabbit is in this direction. As he spoke, Suyu walked out first. Huzai nodded woodenly and followed behind him. Improving archery skills not only improves strength, but also improves eyesight and hunting experience. Of course, it will also appropriately improve his ability to track prey. This is the benefit of upgrading. Now, when he pulled a single stone bow, he no longer felt any sluggishness. Even if he was given a double stone bow, he could still pull it up with difficulty. This is because the strength has increased from 8 points to 13 points, and the speed has also increased from 8 points to 10 points, returning to normal levels, while the strength is 3 points higher than that of normal people. In other words, he is stronger than an adult, but not to a certain extent. He is far from being a strongman. He is just a muscular man. Look, ahead, where is the rabbit? Not long after, Suyu found the rabbit with the tracking skills provided by basic archery. At the same time, the words tracking IV1 appeared on his skill panel. This meant that he had the ability to track. Suyu didn't waste any time and added the remaining 6 points to tracking, instantly turning his tracking skill into IV3. Host, Suyu age 19 strength 13 speed 10 skills. Fishing if 3+. Basic archery if 7+, tracking IV3 skill points, 0 points. Huzai strode over, picked up the rabbit and laughed. Haha, we have rabbit meat to eat tonight. Okay, stop wasting time and go. Next, the two of them shot some small animals from time to time, such as pheasants, hares, greyhounds, squirrels, and even caught a hedgehog, a big hedgehog. This thing cried like a child, and those who didn't know would definitely think it was a child crying. Its meat was all red meat melon. I can't say how delicious it was, but it was very similar to dog meat and definitely not bad. For people who are not full nowadays, they can't let it go. After most of the day, Suyu upgraded his basic archery skills to IV9. Except for Suyu's strength, which surged to 15 points, there were not many other changes. Brother Yu, why do I feel like you've gotten taller? And stronger, too? Suyu was startled. He was discovered. However, he pretended to be calm and said, I'm wearing a cotton coat. You can't tell what I am wearing. Okay, let's get going. If we can kill a seal or an elk, we will be rich. Hee hee, if you can't beat Zhangzai, a stupid roe deer will do. But even if we can't catch any, it's still not a loss today. We caught 2 rabbits, 3 pheasants, a hedgehog, and 8 greyhounds. That's enough to eat. If this were to be told to anyone, it would scare my grandfather. Yes, although hunters never lack meat, it is not that exaggerated. The harvest of so much in a simple hunt is definitely closely related to Suyu's upgrade of tracking skills to IV3. Otherwise, how could you encounter so many prey in such a large forest? Sometimes it's not that there is no prey, but that you can't find the target at all. Are you tired? Do you want to take a rest? Huzai was holding a bow and crossbow, and he was not the main force, so he carried a bamboo basket on his back, and all the prey he caught today was placed in the bamboo basket. It's okay. It's just a few dozen pounds of meat. I can carry it. Chapter 15. The fight cost $5, and the fourth brother was fined. Chapter 15. Fighting and losing $5. Lao Si was fined. Host, Suyu, age 19, constitution 10, strength 15, speed 10, skills, fishing if 3+, basic archery if 9+, tracking Roman 4+, 3 skill points, 0 points. This is the result of Suyu's day. It can be said that the achievement is remarkable. It is not about how many prey he has killed, but about the new skills he has developed. Not only is there an additional tracking skill, but there is also an additional physique. Physical fitness represents endurance, and physical fitness, such as disease resistance, etc., such as cold and heat resistance, which are all manifestations of good physical fitness. There wasn't one before, because Suyu was malnourished and his physical condition option was not included in the skill panel. Now it has been added, which proves that he has not only recovered to the level of a normal person, but also exceeded the normal level. We had a great harvest today with 2 rabbits, 3 pheasants, a hedgehog, and 8 greyhounds. All of the greyhounds were shot in the head with 1 arrow. Their skins are not cheap, and the commune has a place responsible for purchasing them. In this era, when people can earn a few cents a day, a greyhound skin can be worth half a month's income, which means that the worst one is worth $1.50, and it is not impossible for a good one to be worth more than $2. Let's go home. It's almost time. If we don't go back now, it will be too late. If you want to sell greyhound skin, you need to process it. First, you need to rub the inside of the fur with wood ash, then prop it up with wood and dry it. Otherwise, the skin will become hard or even weathered, and then it will not be a matter of whether it is valuable or not, but whether people want it or not. 8 greyhounds will cost at least 12 yuan. If sold well, it will be no problem to sell them for 15 or 16 yuan. Anyway, I have eaten enough, so I won't waste time. There is still a long way to go. Haha, brother Yu, what kind of meat are we having tonight? Pheasant or rabbit? Huzai was very happy. He thought it was a wise decision to follow brother Yu to go hunting. Let's go for the hares. Although the rabbit skins are not valuable, they can still be sold. We always need to pick them up. As for the pheasants, Huzai, I want to discuss with you. Let's sell the greyhound skins of the pheasants and the hares. I'll give you half of them when the time comes. How about that? It was enough to eat hare, greyhound, and a hedgehog in the evening. There was no need to save them all and eat them all, as that would be a pity. What are you talking about? Am I that kind of person? You hunted all the prey, so why would you share it with me? Just feed me enough, haha. That won't work. According to the rules from ancient times to the present, there must be a certain amount of risk when entering the mountains, because the risk is the same, regardless of how much effort you put in. Simply put, if you feel that the other person is holding you back, you don't have to be together. But if you are together, then that person is taking the same risk as you, so why not give them your share? The rule from ancient times to the present is not to split it in half as you said, brother Yu. You are the main force, so I should get 1/3. If you give me more, won't people say I don't know the rules? Okay, you and I are brothers. What's the difference between the main force and the main force? Let's split it in half when we meet. But no matter what Suyu said, Huzai insisted on taking only 1/3. However, this was also a rule passed down from generation to generation. If it was divided equally, it would become unbalanced over time, so the ancestors set this rule. Okay, then I'll listen to you and bring your brother and sister to my house to eat meat tonight. Hey, okay, don't worry, I will be there on time. The two of them went down the mountain laughing and encountered a badger on the way, which was discovered by Su Yu in advance. It must be said that basic archery IV9 strengthened Su Yu's eyes. He could see very far and clearly. We found many traces that were not easily noticed by others, and then we discovered the badger hiding in the grass. This badger weighed 25 kilograms and was an adult. Remember this place. If there is a badger here, there can't be only one. This thing is a social animal. It often lives in a family. Hee, brother you, do you still want to kill them all at once? These things are not easy to deal with. If you encounter a group of them, even hounds won't dare to provoke them easily, especially if they run into caves. If hounds chase them in, they might be bitten to death. Okay, we're not going to wipe out the whole family, so we'll just kill as many as we can. This badger oil tastes pretty good. Don't you want to eat it? That's right, badgers produce oil, and the oil made from badgers tastes good, which is a rare delicacy for rural people. Can you do it? Let me carry you. 2 rabbits, 3 pheasants, a hedgehog, 8 greyhounds, and a 25-pound badger, all together weighing 40 pounds. It's okay. You underestimate me? I'm not good at hunting. A mere 40 kilograms of meat is nothing to me. If I could get this kind of harvest every day, I could carry 50 kilograms. Don't try to be brave. Give me the badger and I'll help you carry it. No, what if you encounter other prey on the way? If you are too late or move too much and the prey runs away, wouldn't it be a pity? It's only a few steps away, don't worry about me. The good thing about Hu Zai is that he knows he can't contribute much in hunting, so he just works harder. Otherwise, he won't feel at ease eating the meat. What's more, Su Yu also gives him some money, which is even more rare. Su Yu knew Hu Zai's thoughts and was afraid that he would feel guilty and would not dare to take the money, so he did not insist. After all, the two of them grew up together, and they would not mind if one took advantage of the other. The key was that the other party knew what was going on, instead of not being able to figure out the boundaries just because they had a good relationship. The two of them quickly went down the mountain and did not encounter any other animals. Su Yu did not make any effort to look for them, so they gained nothing. However, the two of them quickened their pace and soon arrived at the village. Since Su Yu lived at the entrance of the village, he was not worried about being seen. Hu Zai followed Su Yu into his house, pushed open the door, and saw the 4th child standing as punishment. The youngest sister was watching the fun on the side, while the 4th sister had a porcelain basin full of water on his head. Su Jin, what are you doing? Are you practicing acrobatics? Hu Zai joked and laughed. The two families had a good relationship, so we knew at a glance that the 4th brother had made a mistake and was being punished. Su Jin rolled his eyes and ignored Hu Zai, then said to Su Yu, 3rd brother, I was almost hurt by you, but I didn't betray you. Hey, did you and brother Hu Zai catch any prey? As he said that, Su Jin put down the enamel basin and trotted over. Sanguo, do you have meat for dinner? When the little girl Su Jing heard Su Jin say that he had caught prey, she ran out of the room and stopped peeking. Haha, let's eat meat at night. Don't worry, you'll be full. With a cold snort, the door opened and Su-hee walked out of the room. The 4th brother shuddered and immediately rushed back to pick up the enamel basin and placed it on his head to continue being punished. Dad, what did the 4th child do wrong? Why are you punishing him again? Su Yu pretended not to know, but Su-hee was not a child and could not be fooled so easily. How dare you ask? Do you dare to say that it wasn't your idea that Su Jin bribed other friends with gifts to help him fight? That is to say, Su Yu is already 19 years old, and Su-hee generally doesn't want to fight with him, otherwise he would have picked up a stick and used violence against him. What? Lao Si, you bastard, you stole the things I bought? Su-hee curled his lips at the 3rd brother's clumsy performance. Okay, stop pretending. I'm your father and you don't know me? Why are you pretending? This bastard broke Su Yaoking's head. Your aunt came and threw a tantrum for a long time, blocked the door and cursed for a long time. I asked the village chief to come out and compensate him with 5 yuan, and then we let it go. Are you happy? Oh, by the way, I heard that Lyson compensated you for the money you used to buy things. How much is left? Take it all out. A pair of big hands reached out and asked Su Yu for money. Forget it, I can't keep it. If I keep it for buying some things, my parents won't interfere. After all, I'm an adult. But if I spend money to hire someone to beat up my 4th child, my father might want to teach him a lesson. Su Yu obediently took out $5, and when he saw that there was only $5 left, Su-hee became even angrier. Prodigal son, how could I have given birth to 2 prodigal sons like you? We had a fight and spent $10. You are really something. Su Yu curled his lips and thought to himself, $10 is nothing. If I stay in the 20th century like this, I can't even buy a box of good cigarettes. I am willing to help my brother out. What's wrong with spending some money? This is only the first time we had a fight, don't do it again. Don't come up with such ideas next time. This time, thanks to the village chief's grandson and several families in the brigade, we were able to get someone to help put in a good word. Otherwise, $5 wouldn't be enough to satisfy your aunt. Although Su-hee looked very angry, he was actually not angry at all, because he knew everything. It was Su Yaoking who blocked the fourth brother first and caused trouble. If it was because of something else, it would be fine, but it was because of the third brother's marriage. Isn't this just being too aggressive? You wanted to cheat me, but I found out and didn't let you cheat me. How dare you come and cause trouble? Su-hee was a soldier. He had been to the battlefield of India and killed people. Who would believe him if he said he didn't have a temper? It's just that Su-hee didn't show it to his family. But it was obvious that Su Yaoking's behavior also made him very angry. But due to his status, even if he knew, he would not do anything to Su Yaoking. After all, he was the elder. Just like Su Yu, he would not take action personally. Although the third brother Su Yu had cost money this time, it was a relief. Chapter 16 Third Uncle Su Yuanjing, Eldest Son Su Daong. Chapter 16 Third Uncle Su Yuanjing, Eldest Son Su Daong. In the end, Su Yu said nothing. He neither admitted nor denied it. His father just said it casually and did not punish him, so the matter naturally ended. I'll go back first and ask my brother and sister to come and help. Perhaps sensing that the atmosphere was a bit tense, Hu-Zai decisively ran away without saying anything more. Wow, Brother Yu is really awesome. He hires someone to kill. Ugh, he even hires someone to fight. How awesome. Hu-Zai strode home and called his younger brother Xiao Ben, his third sister Su Ru, and his fourth sister Su Kyunkian, and went to Su Yu's house together. Su's father returned to the room and Su Sheng came out. When he saw the prey that Su Yu took out from the basket on his back, he exclaimed in amazement. The little girl Su Jing was almost drooling. Although Su Jin was being punished, he still watched carefully, staring at this side with sharp eyes. My dear, don't tell me that you shot all these with a bow and arrow? The eldest brother looked incredulous. After all, shooting prey with bows and arrows has been gradually eliminated in this era. People prefer to use guns for hunting, or at worst, old cannons. Of course Su Yu knew that guns were more useful, but the problem was that guns were expensive. Even an old cannon barrel would cost 20 or 30 yuan, and that was the price if he asked a blacksmith to make it himself. If he bought a finished product, it might be even more expensive. For example, the Hanyang rifle, this obsolete product costs around 80 yuan, and the rifling is almost worn out, but they still dare to sell it at this price. A Type 56 MA rifle can be sold for 1,000 yuan. A Hanyang rifle that needs to be rebolted after firing a single shot is also worth over 100 yuan. In short, the more time you save, the more expensive it is. For example, the 56 semi-rifle can hold 10 rounds of bullets and can be fired in bursts without the need to rebolt. This alone greatly improves safety. You have to know that if you miss the prey with one shot, then time is life. Hee, I have a special talent. I asked Grandpa Hu-Zai for advice, and instantly Hu-Yi possessed me. Su Sheng naturally didn't believe this, but he didn't ask any more questions. Brother Yu, I'm here. Soon, Yu-Zai, Xiaoben, Su Ru, and Su Kinkian all arrived. Seeing that so many people had come, Su's father knew that they were here to eat meat, so he didn't let Su Jin continue to be punished. He still needed to give him some face. After all, he was already 14 or 15 years old and was in his rebellious period. So Xiao Ben and Su Jin played together, and the silly girl Su Jing and her two younger sisters Hu-Zai went to the room talking and laughing. Su's father was not idle either and came out to help pick up the hunted animals. 2 rabbits, 3 pheasants, a hedgehog, 8 greyhounds and a badger. The meat alone weighs dozens of kilograms, which is quite a lot. The rabbits were all picked up, the greyhounds were all skinned and stewed, the hedgehogs were stewed, the 3 pheasants were kept, and the badgers were picked up, skinned and sold for meat. Are you going to sell all the badgers for meat? Or leave some for making oil? Su Yu thought about it and felt that it was right. Well, we won't sell the badgers anymore. It's not easy to sell just the lean meat, so we'll keep it for ourselves. At this time, Father Su spoke up, since you don't plan to sell the badger, then cut some meat and give some to your uncle and grandfather. Su Yu and Su Sheng looked at each other without refutation. Dad, I don't mind sending some to Uncle Son, but if you send some to Grandpa's house, are you sure it can go into my grandpa's stomach? Of course, Father Su knew what this meant. The youngsters of the two families were on the verge of a war. He also knew where the root of the problem lay, but he could not solve it. We have offered sacrifices and lit incense, but we don't care who uses it. The meaning is very simple. You can't hide the fact that you are stewing meat at home. Not to mention the whole village, but the neighbors will definitely smell it. And if someone in the countryside eats something delicious, it will be known to everyone the next day. There is no way around it. The countryside is too poor and seeing some meat is a big deal. Okay, I'll go see you off to Uncle's son, and you guys go to Grandpa's place. I'm not going anyway. Although Suyu has the memories of 2 lives and his mental age is no longer young, his body is still 19 years old, so it is reasonable to say this. Don't look at me. I won't go there. Su Jin refused immediately. Are you kidding? That bastard Su Yaoking blocked him and just beat him up in the afternoon. If he went to his house again, wouldn't that be like delivering food to his door? Father Su had no choice but to deliver the food himself. If he didn't, people would say he was unfilial. After all, his parents were still alive, and if he had delicious food, he wouldn't give them some. Even if the villagers talked about them, he ignored them. Su Yu did not stop him. After all, although his father did not beat him, he lived with his father after all. If others said he was unfilial, they would not blame him, but they would definitely blame his father. He could not let his father get caught up in a public opinion storm because of his temper, right? Never underestimate the gossip in the countryside. People's words are scary. Words can kill people. After killing the badger and skinning it, there were still 20 kilograms of meat left. The intestines, internal organs, and bones weighed almost 5 kilograms, so there were still 20 kilograms left of the 25-kilogram badger. Father Su took the wooden board and cut it in half, then cut it in half again, leaving a piece weighing about 5 pounds. You give these 5 kilograms to your uncle, and I will go to your grandfather's house to give these 5 kilograms. Su's father was willing to give it away, but he didn't feel bad at all about giving it to his third uncle, because his third uncle Su Yuanzhang was very good to his family. He clearly remembered that his younger sister went to college and had no tuition fees, so his third uncle borrowed money from everywhere to pay for the tuition. The reason why his family did not borrow money was very simple. They were dragged down by their eldest uncle's family and no one dared to lend them money. Although this incident has not happened yet, Su Yu knows that he cannot forget the kindness others have shown him in his previous life just because he has not yet owed his uncle's family anything. Okay, I'll go and take it there. Su Yu picked up a piece of fat, turned around and went out, while Su Sheng lit a fire and got some wood ash to collect the skin of the gray dog, badger, and rabbit. Uncle-san, Aunt-san, are you home? The one who opened the door was a little girl, Su Xiaotong, the daughter of my third uncle. My third uncle has only one son and one daughter. In the future, both of them will be college students. My third uncle's eldest son is Su Daong, who is only a few months older than Su Yu. Just think about it, 7 years later, at the age of 26, my third uncle still lets him continue to go to college, and his daughter also continues to go to college. It can be imagined that my third uncle is very far-sighted. For this reason, he even lent money to his sister for tuition. He is a very independent and far-sighted person. Hey, brother, why are you here? Zhao Tong'er, I'm here to bring you some meat. Let me go in. As he spoke, he walked into the house and his third aunt and uncle came out. It's Su Yu. Why are you here? I went hunting in the mountains with Hu Zai today and had a good harvest. This is some badger meat. My father asked me to bring some to you. I specially picked a fat piece for Uncle San and boiled it into oil. If you add some to cooking, it will definitely taste delicious. Why are you being so polite? Come inside. Uncle San didn't say anything, but Aunt San was obviously much more enthusiastic. She pulled Su Yu into the house and took the badger meat. Daong, your brother Yu is here, don't stay in the room and pretend to be dead. Su Daong, the son of his third uncle Su Yuanzheng, is also an only child. Only children are very rare in this era. Of course, with Su Xiaotong around, he is not an only child, but having only one son is also rare. Oh, it's Su Yu. I heard that you went into the mountains to save Old Man Huan from the next village. Is that true? It seems that this matter has finally been leaked. After all, it would be difficult for Old Man Huan's wife and daughter to go in and out of Lai Yaokai's house without being discovered. Chapter 17 Shameless, Falling Apart Chapter 17 Shameless, Falling Apart Brother Daong, it's true. Hu Zai and I carried the person back together. He was hit by the cannon basket, but he should be fine. When he heard that it was a cannon basket, third uncle said with some concern, why did you think of going hunting? The mountains are not safe, so don't go into the mountains as much in the future. If you really want meat, tell third uncle and come to his house. I will buy you some meat. Third uncle didn't have any special abilities in his life, but he had a good vision. The children he raised all graduated from college and found jobs. However, that was 10 years later. Third uncle is now a rural man with no special abilities. He said this only because he felt that second brother's family had many children and could not eat meat, so Su Yu went into the mountains to hunt. He had a small family, so he wanted to save some burden for second brother. No need, uncle son, don't worry, I know what I'm doing and I won't go into the mountains. Besides, there are only 2 of us. It's nothing to worry about. I'll go back first. My family is waiting for me to eat. Su Daong stood up and walked Su Yu directly to the gate. When are you going to go into the mountains next time? I'll go and play with you. When Su Daong saw that Su Yu was able to catch prey, he suddenly felt itchy in his heart. Su Daong was very similar to Su Sheng in that they were both reckless. Su Sheng was ruthless while Su Daong was a little naive. In short, his ideas were simple, but he was not stupid, he was just honest. Okay, but can you get out? If my uncle knew you went into the mountains, wouldn't he break your legs? Su Daong is different from Su Yu. Su Daong is the only child in his uncle's family. Unlike Su Yu, there are 3 boys in his family. Although Su's father is worried, he doesn't control him too strictly. But it's different for Su Daong. Don't worry. If you don't tell me and I don't tell you, who will know? I'll just go along and experience it for myself. There is not a single boy who doesn't like hunting from childhood to adulthood, especially when it comes to touching a gun. If there is no gun, they can use a bow or a crossbow to shoot small animals, which is also very exciting. Okay, come find me tomorrow. I'll go into the mountains tomorrow afternoon. Afternoon? Why not go in the morning? Su Yuxin said that he would go to sell leather tomorrow. Should he tell you? No time. I have something to do tomorrow morning. Su Daong had no choice but to agree, and then Su Yu turned around and went home. Su Daong had just returned home when he saw his father staring at him. Su Daong felt frightened and his eyes were evasive. Are you going into the mountains with Su Yu tomorrow? Su Daong is his son, and Su Yuanjing was also young once. He knows very well what young people think. Don't be in a hurry to deny it. It's unrealistic for a child who lives near the mountains not to go into the mountains. I won't stop you if you want to go. But be careful, learn more, don't be impulsive, keep an eye on Su Yu and don't go into the mountains, understand? Su Daong didn't expect his father to agree, he immediately smiled and nodded repeatedly. As for your mother, you have to figure it out yourself. I don't know anyway. Do you understand? Su Daong's father gave him a smart look, and Su Daong immediately understood and kept it a secret, but he couldn't tell his father that he knew about it. It was just a little secret between father and son. It has to be said that Su Yuanjing has a very strict control over educating his children. Not letting him go and forcing him too hard will definitely backfire. If he really doesn't let him go, it may not be beneficial to the child's growth. On the contrary, if he has gone too often and then goes less often or even not allowed to go at all, the child will not resist so much and he can even use the excuse that his mother found out. One is the good cop and the other is the bad cop. Su Daong is simple-minded and is completely controlled by him. Sometimes, it's not that children necessarily go against their parents, but that neither of the parents understands the child's thoughts. And Su's father's behavior undoubtedly reached a consensus with Su Daong, understood him, and kept it a secret for him. Even if he is not allowed to go in the future, Su Daong will not have much resistance with Su's father around. 2 flowers bloom, each showing its own beauty. Su Yu returned home and found the atmosphere a bit strange as soon as he entered the house. He pulled Su Jin's sleeve and whispered, "What's going on? What happened?" "Nothing. My father went to my grandfather's house to deliver some meat, but was scolded by my great-aunt. She also told all the neighbors that she was introducing you to a girl. She said you were ungrateful. You didn't even take the meat and threw it on the ground." My father picked it up and said nothing. Upon hearing this, Su Yu's face was filled with anger. Did Zheng Xiaolian think that they had nothing to say? After all, if you don't know the truth, it's not good for you to reject the aunt's introduction to your niece. At least you should meet her, right? Otherwise, you must be too self-righteous or have a deep dislike for your uncle's family to make such a decision. The eldest aunt did not think that Su Yu's family knew the truth, so there was only one reason left. The whole family had deep dissatisfaction with the eldest uncle's family, so the eldest aunt took the opportunity to say that Su's father was hypocritical, saying one thing in public and another behind the scenes. "Dad, if we can't give the meat away, then don't give it away. Anyway, our family has given it to us and our aunt won't let us take it. We can't do anything about it. You are just focusing on raising us, but don't forget that you also need to be raised. My 4th brother and my 5th sister are still young and growing. It's good for them to eat more meat." As he spoke, Su Yu picked up the meat next to him, washed it, chopped it into pieces, put it in a large basin, started to heat the wok, lit the fire to heat the oil, and added the chopped green onions. Stir well, add greyhound meat, badger meat, and rabbit meat, and stew together. There were 5 pounds of badger, 2 rabbits weighing 5 pounds, and 8 greyhounds weighing 3 pounds, totaling almost 13 pounds of meat. The family has run out of food and has no staple food. If we really want to eat, we can only eat vegetable pancakes, which are pancakes made by mixing wild vegetables and bran. They taste absolutely terrible. So Suyu didn't make it either. The last time they ate fish, there was no staple food at home, so this time Huzai specially took a few more pancakes. Huzai's father was in the militia, and the family was not rich, but they still had pancakes made of corn flour and wild vegetables. This kind of vegetable pancake is considered a good thing. Suyu's family used to eat wild vegetable porridge, which was never enough to fill them up. The pancake can at least fill them up. After Suyu finished speaking, he no longer paid attention to his father and continued busying himself in the kitchen. Suyu's mother Liu Yushai pushed his father and gave him some words of advice. Seeing that everyone was looking at him, Su's father didn't want to ruin everyone's mood, especially since Huzai was there. Okay, I'm fine, you guys go do what you need to do. With a wave of his hand, Father Su picked up the cup, put in the bitter herb roots, made a cup of water, and started drinking. Seeing that he had nothing to do, everyone relaxed and started chatting. Soon, the aroma of meat wafted out. 3 pots, isn't it cooked yet? Sangyuo, is the meat cooked? Sangyuo, are you ready to eat? The little sister was like a little bee. She would come over and ask a question every time she walked around the yard. Suyu was convinced. He picked up the little girl. The little girl had dry yellow hair and a pale face, and it was obvious that she was malnourished. But in the end, she became the first college student in the Su family. Suyu graduated from high school. It's not that he didn't continue his studies, but he stopped going to college and it took 7 years to resume. Suyu's older brother Su Sheng always wanted to go to college, but unfortunately, he didn't pass the first year and stopped studying the following year. You little greedy cat, you are not being obedient again, are you? Didn't third brother tell you that if it's cooked, you will be the first one to eat it? Why do you keep asking? Chapter 18. If you were unkind, don't blame me for being unjust. Chapter 18. You are unkind, don't blame me for being unjust. After rubbing the little girl's head, Suyu took a small bowl, scooped out 2 pieces of rabbit meat, and handed them to the little girl. Here, eat with Su Kangqian. Su Kangqian is only 13 years old, and Su Jing is 8 years old, only 5 years older than her. Since the child is given to the little girl, Su Kangqian cannot be forgotten. Children can best understand different treatments. On the contrary, Su Ru is already 14 years old, which makes her a half-grown girl. It doesn't matter. After all, he didn't give it to Su Jin and Su Xiaoben, so naturally other people won't have any objections. Hee. Thank you Sanguo. Thank you brother you. Su Kangqian was not very old, so she did not pretend to be an adult. She followed Su Jing in thanking them, and then each of them took a pair of chopsticks and picked up the rabbit meat to taste it. Although Su Jin was also greedy, he didn't dare to come over and act cute, because Su Yu wouldn't buy it and might just fly over and kick him away. By the time the 2 little girls finished eating and looked at him eagerly, the meat was almost ready. Okay, stop looking. The meat will be ready soon. Go set the table and we'll be eating soon. Ouch, it's time to eat. As soon as they heard that they could eat meat, the 2 little guys immediately went to move the table enthusiastically. Yuzi, I cut 5 pounds of badger meat. Don't forget it when you leave. Don't be hypocritical with me. Don't refuse. We brothers don't like this. Huzai smiled and nodded without any hesitation. He grabbed the bench and sat down. This time, his parents still did not come to the table, but Suyu left 2 bowls of meat for them, which would definitely fill them up. This was 13 pounds of meat, so no one would go hungry. Huzai took the pancakes out of the cloth bag, broke each pancake in half and distributed them to everyone. There were several pancakes in the bag, so each person had half a pancake. With the 13 pounds of meat, they were definitely full. Even Su's father and mother each got half a pancake. Although Comrade Liu Yuzhai told Huzai not to bring any food next time he came home, it was obvious that she was smiling very happily. Huzai's father is a militiaman, and his points are fixed, and they must be full marks, which is 10 points a day. Because the militiamen have things to do every day, although the militiamen are a little dangerous, they can definitely eat better than others, and they will also receive certain rewards from the team. So even though Huzai's family is not very wealthy, they definitely have no shortage of cornmeal and vegetable pancakes. Sometimes they put wild vegetables in the pancakes, not because they are short of food, but because they don't attract attention. Everyone else's pancakes are made of vegetables, but yours are made of pure cornmeal. This is a collective era. Would others suspect that you were falsifying accounts and stealing collective food? So even if there are few people in a family, and there is no shortage of food and drink, in order not to be too high profile, people will adapt to the local customs. Husey, I'm going to the county town tomorrow to sell leather and pheasants. Do you want to go with me? There are places in the commune to collect leather and pheasant. Of course, if you are willing to go a long way and deliver them to a restaurant in the county town, that is also possible, but the price may be a bit higher. Pheasants, wild boars, seals, and roe deer are not planned supplies, so they can be sold publicly. You don't need a ticket to buy a chicken, vegetables, or fish at the market. All you need is money. Things like tea, wine, sugar, and cigarettes are also divided into different grades. Moutai definitely requires a ticket, but ordinary wine does not. The same goes for cigarettes. Ordinary cigarettes do not require a ticket, but more expensive cigarettes, such as 3 cents a box, definitely require a ticket. So not everything is forbidden to be sold. Large factories also need buyers to purchase unplanned materials. Isn't this just reselling unplanned materials? So even if there is a purchase certificate, it is still done secretly. Buyers are not gods. Sometimes they need some connections even if they have a certificate. So it depends on the situation. Common supplies don't require tickets and are often available in vegetable markets, so it's not impossible to sell meat there. You want to go to the county town? I'll go, of course I'll go. I haven't been to the city for a long time. Suyu curled his lips. The place they were in was remote and the county town was just so similar to the town. Look at the girls again, Su Jing, Su Ru, and Su Kangqian. They are holding a bowl with various kinds of meat in it and are eating and drinking voraciously. Su Sheng, Su Jin, and Su Zouben were the same, simply unbearable to look at. Hu Zai was also talking about eating greyhound and hedgehog meat. They were all good things. More than 10 pounds of meat were eaten up in just half an hour. Girl, you don't usually eat any meat, so be careful when you pull your trouser pockets and be alert at night. Su Yu smiled wickedly. Although he was talking to Su Jing, he glanced at Su Ru and Su Kangqian intentionally or unintentionally. Tisk tisk tisk, his family was not bad. At least he had eaten fish twice in the past few days. Hu Zai and his sister only came to his house once to eat fish, which weighed 3 pounds. They didn't eat much at all. To put it bluntly, there was no meat in their stomachs. It's not surprising that they had diarrhea after eating so much meat at one time. Su Ru was already half an adult. When he saw Su Yu's eyes, he knew that Su Yu was reminding them. He immediately rolled his eyes and thought, why don't you just say it earlier? What's the point of saying it after we finished eating? His brother, Hu Zai, didn't hear it at all. He thought Su Yu was really talking about his sister Su Jing. He touched Su Jing's head and comforted her. It's okay. Su Jing is still young. No one will laugh at you if you poop. Su Ru curled her lips. Su Yu's reminder just now was so obvious, but her elder brother didn't hear it. Brother, let's go home and don't disturb Uncle He and Auntie from resting. People in rural areas go to bed very early, just like the ancients. It is normal to go to bed at 6 or 7 o'clock. If you go to bed at 9 o'clock, you are considered a night owl. Okay, Uncle He, Auntie, let's go back. After saying hello to Su's father and mother, Hu Zai picked up the badger meat and went straight home. The game now consisted of 3 pheasants, 8 greyhound skins, 2 rabbit skins, and 1 badger skin. The most valuable item is undoubtedly the greyhound skin, which is enough for a trip into the city. After saying hello, Su Yu went back to his room. He didn't want to talk about his aunt's family anymore. It was infuriating, very infuriating. The most infuriating thing was his father's attitude, but at the same time he understood his father. Although his aunt had a bad relationship with his family, he did not intend to ruin his niece's reputation. After all, what did it have to do with him whether Zhang Hongmei was not decent or not? You know, destroying someone's reputation is like killing him. But his aunt's behavior made him feel a little cold, and he had the urge to go to the village immediately to help promote it. You have to know that if his aunt makes such a fuss, outsiders will think that she is arrogant and looks down on country girls. Then those who come to propose marriage to him will hesitate and dare not easily set foot in his house. His eldest brother has a bad reputation to begin with, and if he is ruined too, then forget it and just break up this family. So we can't blame Su Yu for having some ideas. We can only say that the aunt didn't know when to advance or retreat. This is not a marriage, this is a feud. Chapter 19. Go to the city to sell pheasants and make a small profit. Chapter 19. Going to the city to sell pheasants and making a small profit. The next morning, Su Yu woke up and washed his face. His parents had already gone to work. His father went to the brick factory, his mother and eldest brother went to the fields, and his 4th brother also went with them. School had not yet started, so only his youngest sister was at home. After Su Yu finished washing up, he also helped the little girl wash up. Then he carried the little girl, locked the door, and went to Hu Zai's house and left the girl there. Su Kangqian was 13 years old and didn't have to go out, so she could play with Su Jing at home. Should we run there, or go to the village chief's house and borrow a car? Su Yu thought for a moment and said, let's borrow a car. If we can't find a car on the road, we will have to walk into the county town, which is too far. The good thing about the countryside is that if you see a bullock cart or a horse cart on the road, you can take a taxi, and people won't easily refuse you. Generally, just say hello and call them uncle, and they will agree to take you with them, regardless of whether they know them before or not. Okay, I'll go borrow it, you wait. Hu's eye strode towards the village chief's house. The village chief's family was the only one in the village that had a bicycle. It was not that the whole village could not afford one, but it was difficult to get a bicycle ticket. Otherwise, Lai Yaokai would have bought one long ago. Even though Lai Yaokai was a local doctor, he had enough money to buy a bicycle, but tickets were not easy to get. This is a big item, equivalent to a Rolls-Royce. If you go to the black market to exchange tickets, it would be fine if no one reports it. But if someone does, you will be in trouble. Of course, those who sell tickets on the black market are also smart. They will provide you with a proof of origin. For example, if the ticket comes from a director of a meat processing plant, you can ask the police to contact the meat processing plant, obtain the director's information, and inquire. You can just make up an excuse like it's a relative or a free gift, but it will definitely be troublesome. Once the information the ticket scalper gives you is wrong, you are done. You can't tell where the ticket came from, and it must be a bicycle ticket obtained by reselling. Just wait for the waiting number. The village chief's bicycle is different, as it is allocated by the commune and paid for by the collective, so anyone who needs something can borrow it. But if it is official business, then it cannot be used privately, as bicycles are meant for public use. Let's go, I've borrowed it, I'll take you. Hu's eye also knew how to ride a bike, so Su Yu didn't try to be polite and just sat behind him. Hu's eye pedaled and the bike sped away. Not long after, the two arrived at the county town. Brother Yu, should we go directly to the commune or should we send it to the state-owned restaurant? Let's go to the state-owned restaurant first, and then go to the commune to sell the hides when we come back. Hu's eye didn't care and followed the instructions throughout the process. He found the largest state-owned restaurant in the county and Su Yu walked in directly with the sack. Is it dinner or something? I saw a young man walking and carrying a sack. It wasn't lunchtime yet, and there was a waiter wiping the table. After all, breakfast was just over, and when I saw someone coming in, I thought this person was here to have breakfast. We're not here to eat. We're here to ask if you accept pheasants. Upon hearing this, the waiter understood. It is not uncommon for people to send game here. It happens frequently and he is not surprised by it. I don't think we need it. Our hotel has a fixed purchasing channel. Hey buddy, we've come all the way from the countryside. Could you please go to the kitchen and help ask? Seeing that the two men looked exhausted and judging by their clothes, they looked like country kids. Then let me take a look first. Don't use some dead ones to fool me and make me get scolded. Su Yu immediately smiled, opened the sack, took out a pheasant, put it in front of him, and said confidently, "Don't worry about this. This is the largest state-owned restaurant in our county. Do you think I can fool you? With your eyesight, you can tell at a glance that this is a pheasant killed last night. It is definitely fresh. Although being a waiter is not a popular job, since it is a state-owned restaurant, you have to work hard every day. Even if no customers come a day, you will still get paid for a month without any work. Therefore, restaurants at that time often have big character posters saying things like no innocent beating of customers and so on. After all, in this era of equality for all, no matter if it is a waiter or a salesperson in a supply and marketing cooperative, they are all very arrogant and will really dare to take action if they don't like you. But no matter what, he is also a member of the lower working class. When has he ever been praised like this? When I saw that the young man was quite handsome, I immediately smiled and thought to myself, you have good taste. I work in a restaurant, can't I tell that at a glance? Okay, young man, you're good at talking. I'll go ask the chef in the kitchen for you. I can't guarantee it. After saying that, he turned and went into the kitchen. Su Yu and Hu Zai looked at each other and smiled. Not long after, a middle-aged man came out. Young man, are you here to sell pheasants? Take them out and let me see them. This is our manager Fan. If you want to sell pheasants, you need him to take a look first. There was a master chef following behind him. From the way he was dressed, you could tell he was the chef. Master Liu, come and take a look. Su Yu thought, this isn't a treasure appraisal meeting, why bother? If I pinch it and the flesh is soft, won't that prove that the person died not long ago? The master chef named Liu walked forward, picked one up, looked at it, squeezed it, then put it down and nodded. Haha, young man, you didn't lie, that's good. I'll take all 3 pheasants. I don't have a good scale here, so I'll give you an estimate of the price. $3 apiece, and you won't suffer any loss. What do you think? Su Yu and Hu Zai were both shocked when they heard this. You know, in the vegetable market, a chicken raised at home only costs $1.50, even an old hen only costs $2. Nowadays, there is no saying that pheasant is delicious, but it is different for rich people, especially pheasant, which is still liked by many rich people. Why are you not satisfied? If you can get a hazel grouse, I can give you $80 for one, but these are just ordinary chicks, not worth much. The hazel grouse is commonly known as flying dragon. It is very rare, but its taste is needless to say. It is dragon meat in the sky and donkey meat on the ground. It can be called flying dragon. The taste needs no explanation. The key is that it has certain medicinal value and its quantity is small. Okay, Manager Fan is an expert. I'll listen to you. Ha ha ha, you're a good young man. I like you. So, I'll give you $10 for 3 of them. Remember to send me good things in the future. Nowadays, meat is in short supply everywhere. It's fine if there's a shortage in other places, but his is the largest state-owned restaurant in the county. Leaders come here all the time, and the food they eat is varied and has different tastes. There's nothing he can do but try his best to satisfy them. It's not that he won't accept it, but he won't accept the ones with poor quality. He can do without it, but if the leader gets sick, who can he turn to? So he needs to personally control the quality. The 3 pheasants sent by Su Yu were definitely game, especially since they had died not long ago. The quality was acceptable. After all, it was just the beginning of spring and they would not go bad. Haha, Manager Fan is so generous. I wish you a prosperous business. Su Yu bowed repeatedly to express his gratitude. Soon 10 yuan was handed over. After saying goodbye to Manager Fan, Su Yu took Hu Zai to a breakfast shop, ordered 2 bowls of tofu pudding and 4 buns for each person, and started eating. Chapter 20 Encounter with Blue Wolf Dog. Chapter 20 Encountering a Blue Wolf Dog. Brother Yu, flying dragons are so expensive. Let's go into the mountains and hunt flying dragons next time, right? So you thought, don't I know that flying dragons are expensive? But if flying dragons are so easy to catch, they won't be worth 80 yuan. There are very few flying dragons, so forget it. They just said that. If you just listen to them, it's over. If you really want to hunt flying dragons, you might as well think of a way to kill a big insect. Hunting insects is more reliable than hunting flying dragons. Yes, although there should be flying dragons near their mountains and forests, they are definitely rare. However, if you want to kill a big beast, as long as you go deep into the mountains, you will encounter it sooner or later. But it is different for flying dragons. Some people may not have seen it a few times in their entire life. This flying dragon is very alert and rare, making it difficult to catch. Whether you can catch it does not depend on your shooting or archery skills, but on whether you can touch it. In other words, even if you have tracking skills, you still need to discover it first. Ah, so hard to catch? Never mind. I thought I was going to get rich. Hu Zai had no idea what a flying dragon was. He just heard Su Yu say it was a pheasant and thought it was just a different color and rarer than ordinary pheasants. Little did he know that there were really few of these flying dragons, and whether he could encounter one depended entirely on luck. Everyone ate a bowl of tofu pudding and 2 buns. Hu Zai touched his belly with great satisfaction. Hiccup. This is the most filling breakfast I've ever had. If I could have this every day in the future, I would be so happy. Su Yu smiled and shook his head, then took out $3 from his pocket and gave it to Hu Zai. Here, keep your share. When you sell the skins, you will have another share. Ah, what about the breakfast money? Shouldn't both of us pay for it? How can I take advantage of you? Su Yu smiled, stuffed it into his mouth, and murmured, a bowl of tofu pudding and a few buns is less than $1. Don't haggle with me. Take it quickly. It's not easy to come to the city. Think carefully about what you want to buy. How can you buy it without money? After eating, the two went straight to the commune. Hu Zai was familiar with this place. He had been here with his grandfather when he was a child, so he was very familiar with the place. Fifth Master, can you give me some advice? Take a look at this leather. The one called Wu Yi specialized in collecting leathers. He looked up and saw that it was Hu Zai. He had some impression of this boy and knew which family he came from. Hey, you naughty boy, I haven't seen you for years. How's your grandfather? Does he not hunt anymore? The two exchanged a few pleasantries and Hu Zai brought the topic back. Master Wu, this is from my village, my brother Yu. This is the leather we made together. Would you like to take a look? Su Yu hurried forward, took out a box of dakiamen from his pocket, lit one for Wu Yi, and he also lit one, and stuffed the rest into Wu Yi's hands. No, kid, where did you learn this? We are all working for the country, this is not acceptable. Hey, look at what you said. At my age, if I bring cigarettes back home, won't my father break my legs? You should keep them and consider it as helping a junior like me to quit smoking. The two of them giggled, and seeing that there were not many people around, Master Wu stopped refusing. Young man, you can talk. Okay, I'll keep it. Let me take a look at it for you. Suyu gave Huzai a wink, and Huzai immediately opened the sack and took out 8 greyhound skins. Wu Yi took a look and was disappointed. He thought it was a big item, but it turned out to be just a few greyhound skins. Greyhound skins are indeed not cheap, but it depends on who is looking at them. Wu Yi is an appraiser and he collects so many skins every day. A few greyhound skins are naturally not up to his standard, but Wu Yi did not make things difficult for others. Well, this seems to be an arrow wound, right? Wu Yi looked surprised and a little bit unbelievable. Hee, the skin has been peeled off. Master Wu can tell it at a glance. I admire you. You know, these 8 greyhound skins were all killed by headshots. There were no wounds on their bodies. Only the way the fur on the heads was divided was a little different. This can be seen. He is worthy of being a professional skin collector. He has a keen eye. The fur is intact. The processing is also timely. The temperament is soft, not bad. It is considered first class. You have 8 in total, so each one counts as $2. 2 yuan per bill is definitely a concession to Suyu. After all, grade A is the highest. In fact, it doesn't matter who is given grade A, as long as the number matches. After all, other people also have many grade A furs, but 5th master only gave him grade B, so it was inevitable that he had to lower the price. There are 3 reasons for giving Suyujia and others. First, he was sensible and gave a box of cigarettes. Second, this kid came for the first time. If he didn't leave a good impression, who would send it next time? Third, this kid hunted with a bow and arrow, which means he is very proficient or his family has proficient people. It doesn't matter whether it's this kid or not. As long as you understand that people with this kind of archery skills are likely to have big goods, it's right. Okay, I'll listen to you, kid. The 2 nodded repeatedly and added 50 cents to each piece of leather, which was already very good. After all, the cigarettes Suyu gave were only 30 cents a box. 16 yuan, take it. Next time you have something good, remember to take care of my business. There is not only one commune, but the commune in his town is the closest. If the fish cannot be sold at a good price, some hunters would rather save some and sell them in other towns, so Wu Yi left a good impression. After the 2 men left the commune, Suyu handed Huzai 5 yuan. At this point, Huzai had 8 yuan, and Suyu had 18 yuan, which was equivalent to his father's monthly salary. Come on, if you want to buy something, let's just go shopping. I heard that there is a market in the city, brother Yu. Shall we go to the market and take a look? Suyu thought about it and decided that there was still time. He and Su Daiyong had agreed to go into the mountains in the afternoon, but it was still early and there was no rush. Okay, you ride your bike, let's go. The 2 rode their bikes, stopping and starting, asking people where the market was. Soon they arrived at the market. There were quite a lot of people here, but most of them were selling vegetables, fish, chickens and ducks. Brother Yu, look, that seems to be a place where livestock are sold. Let's go over and take a look. Huzai and Suyu walked over and found that this was indeed a place that sold live animals, including pigeons, cats, dogs, and large livestock. Suyu stopped in front of a stall selling puppies. The dog seller was an old man, and several puppies were tied and placed in a sack. Several puppies poked their heads out, baring their teeth, and were very wary of strangers. Uncle, are you a local dog? The old man became a little impatient when he heard Suyu's question, simply because he didn't know the value of the goods. Go. If you don't want to buy, don't ask the price. Just do what you need to do. Hey, this old man. Suyu had such a bad temper that he almost couldn't control his anger. An uncle who was selling wild boars nearby chuckled and said to Suyu, young man, don't be so sullen. You said that the old man didn't scold you for calling his blue wolfhound a local dog. You know, in the eyes of hunters, a good dog is a comrade, a partner, and sometimes almost like a family member. It's good that he didn't scold you for saying that. Forehead. Suyu is speechless, he really didn't know them. Besides, these blue wolfhounds looked very similar to wolves, just the gray kind. But if you said they looked like local dogs, it was also possible. Old Liu, why are you wasting your breath on a young man? The old man didn't bother to explain. It was because these young men didn't look like hunters and they couldn't afford so much money. Hey, uncle, you are being unreasonable. I am asking because I don't know you. What's wrong? You are selling things here, and you don't allow people to ask?
Thank you so much for listening. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the story, so please leave a comment below. And if you want more fanfiction audio, be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.